built over the last 15 to 20 minutes. They've filed in here for the West Coast Eagles, of course. A couple of changes, including Jeremy McGovern, who's out there playing his first game of AFL footy. So a big moment for him. Round 6. Anzac Day weekend, and for these two clubs, their most important game of the weekend is underway. Gibbs jumps in, caught a little high, was good last week in the Blues' first win of the season. Thought about playing on and going forward wide, goes back wide. Jamison wide. Murphy takes the mark on the wing, and he was a superstar last week, the captain for the Blues, to wait. So a few players just getting an early touch. Always nice to get an early touch, Rube.
Absolutely. Certainly some senior players there. Gibbs, Murphy, Waite, all had a fair bit of, I guess, criticism at stages throughout the year as well. So they need to have a big game today. Everett just outside 50.
Had to pump it to the top of the square. Henderson was the star last week. Warnock's down there. Henderson got hands to it. Warnock hasn't kicked a goal all year. Got one here.
Well, a great start by Carlton. They really just dominated the play. West Coast Eagles haven't even touched the ball yet, so senior players getting their hand on the ball. Warnock pushing forward, which is a great sign for them. Let's have a look. Henderson should have caught it. He dropped it. Warnock roved it, and a good snap gets him off to a great start. There's the big fella on the left boot. He needs to have a big game today.
One in, boys. Just one in. Thanks. Steve Murphy, your side.
Just snuck into one.
So that one just snuck in by the barest of margins, no doubt about that one. Just got through. One revolution enough, I reckon, Everett. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it wasn't much between that and the post.
And there's no doubt that Warnock is the man to beat for the West Coast Eagles. As Adam Simpson said before the game, they've got 3 ruckmen to run through. As Carlton now again go up to the half-forward flank position off hands. Murphy got one high. Umpire said play on. Yo takes the ball to the boundary line, and now it goes over with Schofield. Waite dropped the other week, and back in business last week for Carlton's first win. So a throw in. Nick Natanui gets his chance. Gets to the front spot, does it well. Murphy again, yet another disposal. Gibbs over the top. It goes to Walker. The big names of Carlton combining. There's the captain again. It's a good kick into the danger spot. Out in front of, coming through was Brown for the West Coast Eagles. Good tackle applied there by Henderson. And once again, the 2 ruckmen go at it on the ground. Umpires a lot quicker this weekend on the whistle for a ball up.
I think Adam Simpson will get a message out to Scott Selwood. He needs to man up on Murphy at the moment. He run with Boak last week as well, but Murphy's already had 5 touches.
5 in 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
And on cue, Scott Selwood did get that touch. Cripps, cousin not playing for the Blues this afternoon, and he finds the boundary, which isn't such a bad result. They get a ball in forward pocket, a chance to settle it all down. Jamie Cripps on screen. Back into play. Cox front spot. Warnock with him. Lucas tried to go backward. Play on the call. Shuey tried to duck into that high one or the in the back, and he would have got that last year, the year before and the year before that. They didn't pay at that time. Umpire quick to toss it in the air, and we're going to see that a bit as well for the remainder of the year. Gibbs, Everett, the clean build-up. Thomas, open spaces, goes to Henderson. Last week's hot man looks up. He's got runners. Out wide, Yarran. Best on ground last time these two met. Got the 3 Brownlow votes and was a superstar that time. And that's perfection to go at here, forward pocket.
Yeah, good ball use there by Carlton from right down in the back pocket, run the ball through the halfback line, and then put it out in front of the hard-running Yarran. Carlton here is an opportunity to hit the scoreboard. Been really out of sorts, but has been welcomed back into the side and needs to step up today.
If that's an indicator of what he wants to do today, he ran from the back of the square to where he is now to receive that footy. He's tuned in.
Kick across the face slightly, stays in the field of play momentarily, and then through for a rush behind.
20 disposals to 4 early in this game, so West Coast can't get their hands on it.
They do on this occasion. A good kick, and they're away. Schofield with the handball over the top. Need to get moving. Selwood off to Gaff. Now they've got some run going. Down to the forward 50. But out in front is over the head of Buckley, who came into the side for Carazzo. A late withdrawal for the Carlton side. We'll have a throw in 40 metres out from the West Coast Eagles goal.
Jack Darling was trying to draw a free behind play against Simon White, hooked onto him and took the two of them to the ground.
Big Warnock's done it well again. Traps his own ball, gets the handball working to Walker. Walker with a spearing kick out is a good one. Waite met it full-chested. Did well enough there. Should have got a free kick for the arm chop or one across the ears, but the umpire didn't pay it and let it throw in.
Yeah, a couple of coaches may be mentioning through the week they haven't been paying the arm chops as much this year.
Well, that one was almost a legitimate too high. So again, Cox, though, didn't fall for it the second time. Got the front spot. McLean at the fall of the ball did well. Pushing the back nearly there, going to Lucas. The Eagles inside 50 again. Punched away by Tui to the boundary line, and over it goes for another throw in. Sherrod Wellingham throws the ball up. Maldas, of course, saw Sherrod in action when they were together at Collingwood in the 2010 Premiership win in opposite camps today.
Yeah, coach in his 30th season up against the coach in his first. Good tackle on Selwood. He did take the little dive forward, hoping for it in the back. We'll get a secondary ball up here. Not a huge amount of players around the ball, it's got to be said. Down towards McLean, Scotland. Warnock having a big influence. Lucas, and again they're away. If he can get it away, just gets it away in time. Casbolt caught. That's got to be ball. Took him on, dropped it. Got to play that more often.
Good strong tackle there by the Eagles. Absolute ripper. Going to turn it over. Provide some options for your forwards.
Oh, that's not going to suit them.
So Yaron hunts it down. He's being hunted down, but he takes him on. Marston corralled him nicely. Pokes it up high. And Yo drops in the hole.
Great play there, wasn't it, by Marston, as Dwayne said. He corralled him enough to just get him to turn that ball over, put enough pressure, got him back on his heels.
Yeah, he's a very important player, Marston, been in good form.
Casbolt did well, and then sort of half mucked it up in the end. The handball comes out. Here's a shot at goal for the West Coast Eagles, but through for a behind. So Cripps's kick just to the left-hand side. Their first score.
Jellison to the pocket. Look for a handball row to Walker. And he pumps it, hoping for Casbolt. Right with him, though, the first game of McGovern. Did well. Got it toward the boundary, and Brown can see it out. Big moment for Jeremy McGovern, as we said in the intro. Father Andrew played for both the Swans and for Fremantle, but not enough games to have his son qualify under the father-son rule for either club. Ball knocked to Wellingham. Didn't have it even though he had it, and the umpire says that he had it. He didn't try to get rid of it even though it was tucked into his belly. Free kick.
He's a bit bigger than the prototype, the father, young Jeremy McGovern too, isn't he?
He was the one that did the tackle before. I didn't pick it up because I haven't seen him before, but great tackle by him before in the middle of the ground.
Good play by Buckley. Ran around his opponent and then kicks it 55 metres right up to the front of the goal. The slap on is on for Waite. Open goal for Carlton. And I'll give a big assist to Dylan Buckley on that one. Waite kicks the goal.
Well, that was just poor defence there by the West Coast Eagles, just allowing that straight over the back. That's cost them a goal.
Just had a look at Mark Murphy, boys. Tagging job given to Scott Selwood today. He was their most important midfielder last week. 28 disposals and 2 goals, and he's off to a flyer. 5 disposals in the first 7 minutes of this game. 3 contested possessions, 2 clearances. He's their man. He's their heart and soul. When he plays well, so too the rest of this midfield.
Now, this is interesting now. A little bit of interest in the West Coast forward line, because Cox goes to the forward line and they have to do a total reshuffle. Yaron is the loose man behind the ball.
McLean gets the clearance after a perfect palm down by Warnock against Natanui. Gaff fumble made it tough for Brown, but he's equal to the occasion to Priddis. Taken to the line by Scotland, all the way to the line. Brilliant tackle, wrapped him up. Robertson back into the lineup, gave the quick-fire handball. Everett, centering kick. Henderson's under it, Garlett's under it. McLean missed them all. Yo to mop it up. Umpire's found a free kick.
Free kick, Wade.
So top of the square, Waite will take it and kick his second.
Wasn't a big form of retardation, but there was a little bit of a hand there. I noticed too that it was Brown, West Coast Eagles Brown. He is the loose man in opposites to Chris Yarran at the other end. He's a loose man behind play. I don't know if you want him getting the ball all that much. Third man up is his go, but he set up his teammate and turned it over.
2 for Waite. Perfect start for Carlton.
Let's just have a look what caused that first goal before. Adam seems to be filthy at that. We got McKenzie and Schofield allowing the ball over the back to give Waite an easy goal. That's bread and butter for defenders. You've got to bring it to the front where you got your crumbs, and there another free kick. So
that's
two goals to Carlton here. That just poor play by the West Coast Eagles.
So the Blues off to a flyer here at Etihad Stadium. Look at that, 38 disposals to 17. And 13 minutes on the clock. We've played 10 3/4 minutes. Carlton by 18 points. And Warnock has been absolutely sensational. Has a bit of a rest now, and straight away, as soon as he goes off the ball, centre break for the West Coast Eagles to Pridham. Good collision there. I think both players are all okay. Keep an eye on that one for me, Root.
All clear.
All clear. Everyone's up. Maston's in hard at the bottom of the pack. Gibbs wraps him up. We'll have a ball up. A true half-forward flank for the Eagles.
So this isn't as much the story here. It's Mitchell Brown is the loose man in defence. There we look at that collision there. In the Carlton forward line, he's the loose man for West Coast. It's Yarran the loose man for Carlton in their back line. So his run is actually creating a little bit of opportunity here for the Blues going forward.
Blues did well after the initial break. And again, Buckley with a beautiful linking handball. Opens it up for Carlton. It goes up to centre half forward. And a mark has been taken by Henderson. He looks up. Waite is all on his own in the goal square. He decides to go to Waite. Now he's got some company down there. It doesn't matter. There's Blues everywhere. And getting back is Mitch Robinson to take the mark. He'll line up 35 metres out on a bit tighter than 45 degrees. But as you can see from the beautiful pictures on your screen, plenty of goal mouth opened up.
That was a very good miss, that kick. It wasn't designed for him. But as you see, I mean, that's the Yarran run off the back line, is that one extra.
Robertson to really give the Blues a flying start. He lines it up and puts it through.
Well, this is a flogging at the moment, isn't it? 46 disposals to 18, 4 goals to zip, and they're just dominating here. Great run from half-back. They're getting the clearances here. Gibbs and Yarran, some senior players really getting involved. Plenty of run through the middle, and when you play as a forward with this much space, that makes it so much easier. Henderson waited like a good forward should. There's always going to be an opportunity that presents itself, and there was plenty to choose from with Robertson getting the job done.
Mitch Robinson back into the lineup this week. One of 6 changes to the Blues from their winning lineup last week. I think there's a lot of Carlton fans like the team look better when Mitch Robinson is in it.
What about my man Dylan Buckley off the half-back line at the moment, Dermot? He is flying. His old man Jimmy be wrapped.
A late inclusion too. He's giving them a bit of zip off there.
Geez, he's got his old man's jeans and the Dominator's number. That's a good combination.
We'll never get anywhere with his old man's jeans. Walker from a half-back.
It's got to be a good kick.
He got it from White and gives it towards Murphy. Yo took him to the line. Get a ball in, a little bit of push and shove, and the umpire didn't like the push. Murphy's to take it. He knows that Murphy's being attacked and tagged, and that might be an accumulation of all the attacks and tags he's had so far in this game. Scotland about to bang it to the square. Keeps it low. Henderson stayed down. Still a chance to steal it. Brown's ball. So the umpires found that.
A bit lucky there, the Eagles, weren't they, doing? They were outnumbered.
Yeah, Brown just got in the right spot, drew the free kick. Interesting to see here that Simpson's got a tag, a legitimate tag from Cripps. I don't know whether Cripps can run the whole way with him, whether he's got the tank to do so, but at the moment he's given him a real hard press.
Well, that was Cripps with the ball there. He got the kick up towards the wing position, and there hasn't really been a decent foray forward by the West Coast Eagles yet.
Let's have a look at Murphy. This is what the free's for. Now, that's a bit soft, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't required. Was it needed?
Does it matter?
Yeah, I'm with you, Rupert.
You don't get free for that, do you?
Well, you do if you put a bloke into the fence.
Free
What if
kick
he
for
steps
being-
back into it?
You still get a free kick for being an idiot sometimes, don't you? Anyway, Cox goes forward. And the mark in the first decent foray, as I said, to Lysette, who lines up from 20 metres out on a slight angle and should kick the first major for the Eagles. Guys, just on that one, I mean, if you want to go to the letter of the law, you're not allowed to touch anyone within 5 metres, outside of 5 metres of the ball. I'm being ultra.
Yep.
But we know that why I say being silly is everyone's watched the whole weekend so far. There's been 3 games. The umpies are red hot on it.
Yeah.
They're red hot on taggers at the moment. You know, a couple of games yesterday, they weren't even watching ruck contests. They're looking for all the periphery activity. You've got to read the play a bit, don't you? Let's see what Lysette does first, and we'll have that conversation. Lysette comes in from 20 metres out and salutes. David King.
We often hear about people saying take the game on and take some risks, and what that exactly means is marking the ball and playing on its speed. Carlton have done that all year. You can just see they're ranked number 1 in the competition, playing on 42% of the time, and they're doing that again today. 8 play-ons from their 14 marks. Very aggressive. They want a high-speed game. They want to play at speed and give their forwards an opportunity one-on-one and quickly.
It's an interesting call out, isn't it, that the umpires will change it from round to round, but there's a lot of players who wouldn't have watched much footy yesterday, and they go out there and do the same thing as last week, and the rules are different.
Well, if you're a professional, you've got to know what's going to happen.
Warnock, well, there's a professional. Nat Nui, he steals it. Might go for home. He goes to the pass option instead. Cox and Roy went at it. Still a chance for Cox. Jamison picked it up. Gang tackled. Marston's got him. And we'll get a ball up, but they are all of a sudden up and running now, West Coast.
Or Rue, at least one of the 75 assistant coaches.
Yeah, exactly. I understand what you're saying, but...
Tossed in the air, top of the square, Nat Nui territory, almost backed out with the Sharon. Didn't quite work for him.
Gee, he was exciting when he followed up his own work out of the middle. An acceleration like that out of a ruckman. I don't think our game's ever seen that type of acceleration before.
Warnock back on, Tui over the ball. Oh, that's a high tackle, free kick to the West Coast Eagles. Shuey's got it. So this is a good mini comeback here by the Eagles. They needed to put back-to-back goals on. They get the opportunity here with Luke Shuey. The tackle just coming a little bit high from Lucas. Didn't duck, it was just a high tackle.
No, he leant into it. He lowered his height by leaning into it.
Yeah.
The rule's there to protect that, but he knew exactly what he was doing. He was never going to try and take evasive action. He was taking action to draw the high free kick.
Luke Shuey, originally Bulleen Templestowe boy here in Victoria, Marcelin College, and the Oakley under-18s has kicked 63 goals, 60 in his 70-game career. He comes in and makes it 64, and back-to-back goals for the Eagle, and they're back in it.
He's a good player, Luke Shuey, and much needed in this midfield that's lost a few of their stars over the years, but he gets plenty of possessions, he uses the ball well, and he kicks goals. So just a bit of a sloppy tackle there by Lucas, and cost him a goal.
Selwood took the ping just in case it went through.
You mentioned he's a Victorian. They've got 6 in this lineup, the West Coast, and now with free agency and the go-home factor, even Matt Rosa out of contract, a Victorian, it does make it a little more difficult to keep them these days. Slight change in the landscape. A good clearance. He's having an influence now. Shuey bounces it inside 50. Darling attacked it hard. Nearly took Kennedy and the ball with him. Still goes. Got his hands free. Nice hands too. Here's Rosa on cue. Hutchings tucked into the pocket, centering kick. Nat Nui! Not quite. Prentice slides it out. Selwood pocket. Cripps a chance. Both going hard head first. Selwood's got it. Flicks it out. Cripps from the pocket. Almost a miracle. That would have been huge.
He's kicked 2 behinds. Cripps. Let's have a look at Nick Natanui here. Right up, got one hand to it.
Nearly an arm chop, wasn't there, a hold?
Nearly there. Rock McLean brings it out. Mark taken by Henderson up the ground to Tui.
A little bit of run coming from behind now.
He's got a nice boot on him, Tui. So handballs. He should have kicked. He put into all sorts of trouble there. The turnover from Hutchings was good. It comes out to Selwood with plenty of time. Now he goes back to his teammate in Cox, who kicks up the line over the head of Maston there, and it was always going to be chopped off by Yarran.
What about that shutdown speed from Yarran? Yeah. Maston's gone forward now, and as soon as he got Chris Yarran, he runs him right to the goal square. Now Yarran's on him again, see him top right-hand side there of your screen. He's just taking Yarran away from the half-back line. They don't care if he doesn't get it.
Warnock again was magnificent with the tap, but as we turned over, players set up for a bit of kick and a half behind play. Pritters was the only one in the drop zone. Gets the handballs over to Yo. Yo with a booming kick up towards the goal square. Offhands Maston waiting at the side of the pack. It comes down. Gaff is there now. Gaff leads the race. Everett hot on his tail there. Keeps it in play. Does well. Darling gets rid in the back.
He turned in. That's good umpiring. Stayed off him. He did very well there, Simon White. It looked like he was going to collapse into his back.
He was in and then just rolled, as you said there.
Yeah, it was very. And we see Skinny Everett. He's following Gaff around.
Watch this.
Collars him. Yeah, so he's a chance to fall in the back, but he drops to the right knee and takes all the weight on his own knee. That was cleverly done.
And it's all in. Shuey pocket. Slots it. They're hot now. Shuey's got two. Eagles a run on.
Well, the reason that ball is kicked through for a goal is because there was an easy release from this wing that took it into their forward line, a little bit of run from behind, which the Blues didn't man up. That's Mick will hate that clearance that results in a goal, but he'll hate the way the ball got in to that West Coast forward line from the wing area after a chopped off kick down the line. Good kick.
Carlton kicked the first 4 goals in the 12 minutes, opening 12 minutes of this game. Since the 15-minute mark, the last 6 minutes, the Eagles have kicked the last 3. We're back to 5 points. Cox goes in. Shuey, who has been the man who's kicked the last 2 goals, gets the handball out to Yo. Eagles on the march. Yo's kick is a beauty, and it's marked out there by Lysette, who kicked the first goal for the Eagles. Gets it on quickly, and have a look at this. Another line-up goal, 40 metres out directly in front. The Eagles could kick 4 in a row and 4 in 7 minutes.
I'll tell you what, Elliot Yo is going to be a good player for the West Coast Eagles. He has got pace to burn, and they're using him off half-back at the moment, and he's been involved in a couple of good chains at the moment. But, gee, the West Coast have really settled down, look very, very dangerous.
Cripps, who's kicked 2 behind so far from snaps. 45 metres out directly in front. It doesn't get better than this for a goal kicker. In he comes. Nice action. Kicks right through the ball. Perfect spin right through the middle. And the Eagles, can you believe it, have hit the front.
Kingy, just the West Coast Eagles' ability to get a score from a centre bounce clearance. Cox stays over the footy, feeds it back and run off the half-back line on this occasion. Elliot Yo's come in off the half-back. They are so good at clearance scores.
Oh, they're elite, Doom. There's no doubt about that. They average a goal more than their opponents from centre bounces week to week, which is top 5 in the competition. But you're surprised they don't get a bigger return when you see the personnel.
25 points in 8 minutes. That was the turnaround. Carlton led by 24. West Coast now led by 1, and they get another clearance off the deck. Selwood towards Cripps at half forward. Good attack from Buckley. Stole it and went. Heart of the Seas slides a long kick to half forward. White his target. Schofield content with the line. Also back into the lineup this week, Will Schofield, 3rd game of the season on Jared Wade, who of course was dropped a couple of weeks ago by Mick Malthouse for disciplinary reasons, if you like, and was straight back in. Rosa hammers it wide, wasn't touched. That'll be on the full.
Gee, that was exciting the way Buckley split that open a few seconds ago. There's real future in that type of play. You can see there's a real future for him.
Well, that was great clearance, and he set up the 2 goals early on, so he's certainly earned his money so far. I think that's reasonably unrealistic. And he also got crunched when he hit the ground there, so White got the double banger there. He is hurt. We'll see that in replay in a moment, because the West Coast Eagle player coming across the top did the body slam off the top rope, dude. Over the line, out of bounds.
He whipped into the turn.
Yeah, watch this one. So White goes early over the top of Schofield.
The Eagles defender wasn't tall enough. Wade jumped, he nearly jumped over him.
Well, Brown was lucky there was 45 metres between Schofield and the next player because the kick missed the target, but nothing worried about there as the ball ends up with Cox at half-back.
Goes back to Shepherd in his 50th game this afternoon. He goes to McGovern in his first AFL game. Chips it wide, so Cox working hard behind the ball. So Jeremy McGovern's dad was only a little man, was he, Durham?
He wasn't big, he wasn't small. He's, I remember him around the 6'1" mark.
He was a pick 4 in the draft too, can you believe that? Long time ago in the draft that, for the record, Shane Crawford was about pick 20. Wide kick off his boot and out of bounds on the full. In fact, I'll give you the top 3. John Hutton, Marcus Seacamp, Darren Cowell. Shane Crawford was pick 12. And they got a bargain there.
Looked like he was going to be anything, John Hutton, didn't he, with that
Yeah.
funny hat that he used to wear?
Yeah, the Godzilla helmet.
Yeah.
Kennedy, good attack, couldn't bring it down. Wade got his arms free, but now in a bit of trouble. Just throws it out. Robinson scooped it up. Lucas, and now they open it up. McLean long. Garlett lurking half forward, and there he is on cue. Couldn't pull the mark in McGovern though. Brown caught, back to McGovern. Little fumble, drops it, slaps it out, no prior. Shepherd brought down. Blues fans rising. They're enjoying this. Tackle happy at the moment, the Blues, and they bring them all down and cause the ball up.
That is fantastic. If you're a midfielder and you see the ball go like that and you see your forward line work that hard, you've got to be wrapped with their output.
Well, Garlett just really having a crack there, and I'm sure he's had a bit of feedback over the last few weeks about doing just that.
And again,
Cox to Selwood, who gets tackled high by Simpson. Free kick. Inside the last 4 minutes of this opening term, a point the difference. Big couple of red time minutes coming up. So the Eagles bring it out to Brown. Rosa runs forward for him. He's just trying to draw him at the moment. Decides to go around his opponent Robinson. Now gets to Rosa eventually. Rosa back to Brown. Brown inside. They've got players camped out on the other side, as you can see. Hands are waving. Decides to go long up towards full forward. Off the hands of the pack there. Lysette couldn't quite hold it. Now it's Scotland for Carlton. Usually a beautiful kick. Twisting and turning. Round he comes and hits the mark beautifully. Well done. Well done, Scotto. Great effort by Heath, Scotland. Murphy. It was a good early term. He had 5 disposals in the first 2.5. He's up to 9 for the quarter.
that's a beautiful kick that made its way out on that occasion to Lucas.
They've done this well, Carlton. Yaron to Wade, who presents at half-back.
He's pushing up higher today, Wade, isn't he? He's not frightened to come up towards half-back.
So that's a good run too.
Another good kick.
Now, have you noticed down the line here, they're trying to keep it open and then from the centre of the ground, break into open space. They choke it up a bit now, West Coast.
Yaron's the one. He's loose at the moment across half-back. They've got to find a way to get the ball back inside the corridor towards Yaron, let him use his pace.
Honouring their leads today, Doom.
Yeah, well, the short hit-ups. I mean, most team defences like the ball coming in long and pick it off as the extra man in defence or like to get a read on it.
2:20 to go. It's in Carlton's forward line. Scotland gets the handball out. Chance now as the handball comes out from Garlett. Now it's a shot from guess who? Buckley just misses. Just misses to the near side.
He's a better looking version than the old man.
It's coming off a low base. Bucks, I'm sorry, mate.
Gaff short. Kenzie. No Darren Glass today, of course, for that defence. Prentice takes on Yaron. Wobbler made it tough for Darling again. Walker right with him. Marston lends a hand. Back to Prentice. Slides it wide. Kennedy, big fist Jamison. Dumps it towards the line. And get a ball in with 1:40 left.
That's what when we say one-on-one, you have to trust your defenders to defend. Now, Jamison did that excellently on that occasion. That's a really good player. He's trailed in behind there and Josh Kennedy and did the job.
There's a touch, Kennedy.
Prentice did it beautifully. Nice smother. Comes out again. High up and under. Brown underneath it for the West Coast Eagles. Casbolt for Carlton. Waite did it beautifully. That was just magnificent athleticism and touch. And the kick is a beauty. 1:22 on the clock. Time for Carlton still. Everett's got it. Close on the boundary line. Gets the handball working. Simpson finding some space. Little chip over the top. He'll go again, Simpson. You know he will. Buckley's in there. Good play by the Eagles. They set up nicely. Shuey now is able to relieve.
And now Prentice has plenty of space on the wing if he wants to use it. He needs a runner. He gets it. Wellingham corralled by Rowe. Thought about taking him on. Thought better of it. Back to Prentice. Good pressure on the kick. Darling finally out-muscles his man to Nat Nui. He parts the seas. Long handball. Could have gone for goal. He might still go for goal. Nat Nui runs onto it. Clean pick on the move. Drag to the deck. Lycett from the top of the square. Misses.
What about the athleticism of Nat Nui?
Athleticism was an 11 out of 10. Thought process through the problem was about 2 out of 10. But wasn't it exciting?
All they did was Lycett to kick the goal, and it would have been a ripper, boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't measure Nat Nui's game in terms of statistics because he had one handball there, but it was worth a lot more than that.
No stat for excitement, is there?
No, there's not.
18 seconds. Last roll of the dice. Brown off the side of his boot up to Lycett. Couldn't quite get there. Hands and knees. He flicks it out. 10 seconds and counting. In goes Murphy. Gets it at the Buckley. It spills. It spills. No one can pick it up. Oh, was it too high? No, says the umpire. Diving on top is Kennedy. It comes out. Tui's got it. Siren. And what a quarter of football we've got here at Etihad. West Coast Eagles kick the last 4 after Carlton kicked the first 4 to lead by 24 points, and it's 4-2-26 to the West Coast Eagles 4-3-27. Eagles by a point, and we've got a ripper on our hands this afternoon. Goal kickers Warnock, Robinson have kicked 1 each and 2 to Jared Waite. And for the Eagles, Shuey has 2, Cripps has 1, and Lycett 1. It's a point the difference.
License, Chris Yaron. He's the one for me, Derm, who could light up through the corridor and really get this side going.
I'm on the same page as you, Kingy. He's the one who gives them the X factor. He had those 4 possessions in the first quarter fairly early on, and that's when Carlton went well. Thereafter, they dragged him right to the last line of defence. So any run he gets only comes to defensive 50, and the ball distribution just makes it to the middle. Get him up the field as best, or manufacture him up the field.
All the Carlton forwards starting in a line up the spine, waiting for this clearance, and they get it. Simpson into the space that was wide. Casbolt leads in with Shepherd.
Face
went hard and took a hard divot. McGovern flicked out. Rosa to half forward to Cox. The centre half forward on Rowe.
Fought well.
He was better on the ground. He always knew he was going to win if it went to the deck, Rowe. He was always in trouble in the air. He'll get a ball in. 1 point the margin. If you just joined us, Carlton kicked the first 4 goals of this game. Led by 24 points. The West Coast Eagles have kicked the last 4. Nat Nui's had an influence. Gets a fist on this. Flicks a handball back. McLean. Walker to the wing. Oops. Little nudge, Bennell. And it's illegal.
You mentioned Nat Nui. He's so exciting to watch.
50. So Garland will line up from 50 here. Depends on how generous the 50 is.
Yeah, I think it's Garland. I think that's the problem. They're trying to, well, it is Garland now. You didn't know whether it was Daisy or Garland.
It's a good 50.
Look at this. When he goes back.
No, it's Garland. He's at the ball first. And
yeah, we know that, but it's the bloke with the ball didn't know that, dude. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
So he gives him, that was about a 55, I reckon. Yeah. Brought him inside 50, brings him within range, and he's equal to it. Carlton back in front.
Well, that first hard run in the first quarter indicated to me he's working pretty hard today. If there's a criticism on Jeff Garland, it's not his ability to play the game or read where it's going. He's pretty good at all that sort of stuff. Have a look at this one. Elliot Yeo's got the ball, nudged out. Now, he's asked the umpire there. No, I reckon he's been a smarty pants here.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, the umpires don't give you much leniency on that, but the umpire would have told him whose ball it was. He switched on today.
he's only a new player. He might have been like you, didn't know who was giving it to after the umpire told him to.
You always got to know who you're giving it to, bro.
Jeff Garland gets his first goal. Carlton's first since the 12-minute mark of the opening term, and they're in front by 5 points. Fend off high. So against Maston, going to Brock McLean, who goes out wide. Jeez, his teammate was out there for what seemed like an hour. Lucas on the left, kicks it inside, down a beautiful mark. Out comes Casbolt, and the Blues are on since the quarter-time break.
Just got the drop on McGovern there, standing on the mark. That's what, if you're a backman, read the ball in flight. If you're reactionary, totally based upon your opponent, the forwards movement, you're always going to be a half second too late.
This quarter, Carlton, 6 kicks, 2 handballs, 8 disposals to 4.
Didn't kick well
before.
before.
2 goals, but
now that's one worth watching it. Out on the ground before the game, Levi Casbolt, everything when I was watching out the ground went to the right, and that one again. So if he gets another dash at it, we'll have a look to see if he makes any alteration to straighten it up.
This is one of those rare games, Roo, where it's become a real stoppage battle. 8 of the 9 goals have come from stoppages, so it's a territory game as well as a stoppage battle. Usually we see 65% of scores come from turnover, not today.
Yeah, well, West Coast are very good at the turnovers as well, and Carlton haven't been good in that area, so just see if that changes. Keep an eye on that one, Kingy.
And the stoppages haven't had as many people around them, so maybe clearing from the stoppage from scores is a little easier.
Good call
today. Naitanui, well, there's an easy clearance. Straight down to Marston, and he clears it towards Kennedy on the wing, but he left it behind. Walker pumps it back in hope. Big fly, Thomas got up. Couldn't bring it down, though. Robinson, could he keep this alive? He does. Scotland, pocket, centering ball. Attacking it, Bennell. He left it behind. Gala, he's the hot hand.
He's on.
He's got 2.
Well, he has looked switched on right from the first bounce, Gala, but you have to feel for Bennell there. He was the one who he just thought he had to go at it, and he did have to go. This was great work by Robinson to keep it in. Scotland, was it in? Well, it was play on anyway. There's Bennell going for it. Didn't take it, and Jeffy Gala just seizing the opportunity.
Well, that's his man.
Yeah, it was, and Bennell had to go for it, but tough bounce.
look at this. Garland just threads the needle. Beautiful kick.
That's
the outside of the boot.
That's the education there, isn't it? If you go, that's his man, sat out the back while Bennell charged at it. If you go, you must get it. This
do or die.
Oh, yeah, it's brave.
So Garland's kicked 2 goals in the opening 4 minutes of this second term. Carlton are dominating, all been their way, and they lead now by 11 points. Umpire throws it up. Naitanui gets the tap. McLean gets in and under. Good stuff. Comes out to Everett. Now out to Simpson. Simpson's kick out wide. Good battle that one between Schofield and Waite. Throw in at half forward for the Carlton side, who've dominated the first 5 minutes of this term.
They started the second term as they started the first when they piled on the first 4 goals of this game. Back into play. Cox front spot, short throw-in. Gibbs got it up to Lucas with a pocket. No, reset for another ball in.
Huge umpire making a few excuses for his colleague.
Yeah.
They're starting a long way back, which is exacerbated when you can't throw it over.
Yeah, get it in a bit further if you can this time. Murphy, he weaves some magic to full forward. Fist comes, Schofield got it down. Don't leave it behind, that's the key. Hutchings, Critis, and it opens up. Gaff, want the 1-2 with Darling. Everett was wise to it though, bumped him out of it. Walker to Yarra, slips it inside 50. Wasn't really meant for Blas Gibbs. Now that's a mark the umpire said, is he? Thomas on the behind line. They can check the video for this because if it's not a mark, it's a score.
I reckon the boundary says it's a point.
They can check the video here.
We'll go with the umpire's call needs to be a mark, okay? So umpire's call is a mark, we'll check. We'll have a score check.
So he's 100% sure it's a mark. The umpire's call is a mark. So there has to be definitive evidence that the ball is all the way past the post.
It's a mark.
Yep.
That ball's not completely to the outside of the imaginary beam above the white chalk. That's a mark. If he's started the action, started the touch on the inside, that's a mark.
And didn't juggle it.
Yep, correct.
And the hole of the ball has to be behind the hole of the line.
That's a mark.
I think it's definitely a mark. But the only problem is the umpire is standing, as you can see. Oh, no, he's right on the line. No, that's fair enough. I thought he was a bit further back for clearly a mark. Clearly a mark.
It's a mark. It's a mark.
Okay.
This is Ange Christo, isn't it? I still can't call him. I can't call him the Carlton job.
Well, we'll just call him Kappa if you like in the number. That's why he's wearing it. We'll open up this angle. Daisy Thomas, who's going to be playing against his old team next week. Next Friday night, the Magpies and the Blues.
Touch nervous.
Opens it up. Off the post. Or behind. A big game that for Mick Malthouse too next week, of course.
He's got back-to-back against his old side, Mick. As the ball comes out, Eagles have not been able to get it past centre wing, and still they can't get it past half-back. As Waite takes it to the boundary line. The Blues have done well just to block this in.
Did well then. He looked up, he had one teammate forward, he went to handball, but he had 4 Eagles surrounding him. So he said, no, I'll take the heat, I'll take it out.
The umpire is right. They are starting miles back, the two ruckmen, and they're sprinting into the fall of the ball. Murphy now, who's been excellent today, the Carlton captain, up it goes. And this bloke is ripping them apart at the moment. Jared Waite, kicked 2 in the first term. That's a beautiful kick to the top of the square. No one home though. And getting across is McGovern, who does not look embarrassed out there at all. He's a good player in his first game.
Yeah, he just missed the drop on the other one following in his opponent.
Well, that was all right. Maston kicks it out now. The two big men. Cox goes for the volley off the ground. It's an absolute beauty. What a kick it was, and Kennedy takes a ripping mark.
One thing I'm seeing already is that Lysette even has a run on the ball. So you've got Natanui, Cox and Lysette. You notice how often it's getting out wide, and Warnock is in a foot race with Dean Cox. He's going to be very tired. Let's have a look at him. His run up over the last 2 weeks. Remember the... There we go. And have a look at it now.
A bit of a hybrid version this week. And he comes in and splits the middle. It works. Bit of a stutter, but a beautiful kick through the ball, and he gets his first.
Josh Kennedy there. Threads it. Let's have a look down the other end now. And Carlton at the bounce downs. Anderson drags them in. Garlett will come in. What they try and do is spread out from here. So they literally make a huddle just inside the 50. It's a 4-man or 5-man forward line. They make a spine. And there it is, the Carlton forward line at bounce downs. They make a spine down the middle. McGovern sets off to one side to get what you call an outrider to pick him up if it comes out wide.
Well, you do that when they've got a loose term, because the loose man's got nowhere to go to play a role. That's the number one reason you do it.
Yeah, nicely picked up, guys. A good explanation of the way they form. Shuey slips that to Lysette. Good hands. Wants an option. Selwood pops it up. Cox had the reach. Oh, took his own man out. Cox sidesteps beautifully. Gives it to Yo. Really has a crack and sprays it.
It just shows you how easily accidents can happen. If that is an opposition player, that's a free kick. So it shows you that sometimes they're not always on purpose.
We've got a little bit of a nudge as well. Walker from full back. Ran himself in a bit of trouble, but got enough on the kick. And Rowe did nearly well enough. Shuey had it, dropped it in the tackle. Umpire called play on. Scotland lurking. Lysette gets the handball going. In it comes again. Brown just wobbles it forward. Unfortunately, it's coming back. As Simpson, as Dermot said, just read it nicely off the boot and got in the right position, took the mark. So Simpson looks up. Not a whole lot on the outer side. Has to be a good kick, this one. Natanui makes up the ground on 2 and just plucks it out of the air.
doesn't do anything normal, does he?
Little chip. There's too much on it for Kennedy. Cox, Kennedy collide. And worked that out too well, didn't they?
There's the story in West Coast, though. A 6'8" bloke marks it in the forward line. He kicks to a leading 6'5" bloke, and who is supported by a 6'7" bloke. There's no real ground level craft.
Prittis does so. He's good. Rosa breaks the tackle nearly. Tackle was too good. Robinson, magnificent. Looked like he was going to get out, but he didn't. Then Waite playing down, and defence has gone right down, so there's no one up ahead for the Blues. Now the cavalry arrives. Picked up there by Garlett, who's kicked 2 this term. Decides just to hold things up a little bit and goes back to Walker.
Yeah, they've lost that absolute springboard just for the time being, Dwayne, as Chris Yarra sits on the bench.
Thomas
comes on.
And here he is, just came on, Dermot, on cue for you. And that's a good centering kick as well. Casbolt, well, it was on the handball, it just handballed it straight to McGovern. So now Yarra gets a second chance to Thomas, who's got a couple of options out wide. One of them's Murphy, it didn't get to him, although Gaff spilt what he should have taken. Robinson, centering kick. He's hardly seen it today, Henderson. He was the star last week, a career best 5. Big chance here.
Gee, that was a bad mistake by Gaff, wasn't it? It's probably going to cost him a goal. The kick from Thomas come off the inside of his boot. Didn't go to where he wanted it to, but a drop mark looks like costing him another goal.
Yeah, Gaff lived up to his name on that occasion.
You've got to give it to Andres Everett. He's wearing Gaff like a glove. And let's talk about Gaff in a second. He's a very talented player.
Picked 5-3 last week as the star forward in that game. That win against the Dogs. He's in good form.
So Andres Everett is wearing him like a glove. He did cough that one up. Remember when Gaff came through the back of the square about 7 or 8 minutes ago and he gave the little one, wanted the receive. He coughs this up here. There is a belief in the AFL of all the really good, hard-running midfielders, Andrew Gaff is perhaps the easiest to tag out of the game, which ain't a great reputation. That's Andrew Gaff there, coughed that one up, and Carlton capitalise on it. 7-3-45, 5-4-34.
Back in the centre bounce. Casbolt went up, Cox got it though, roved his own ball, handballed out the back. The Eagles need to get the next one, no doubt about that, just to stay in touch because the Blues are coming. Big kick forward, off hands. Here's a chance, picked up by Robinson again, who's been more than lively. Gibbs around his body, is it a goal? It's got there, no. But it just grazed the post. It touched on the line, it's behind anyway. Just didn't quite get there. Yeah, hit the post. Just.
Kingy spoke about the clearances only a few minutes ago. In this quarter, 9-2 in favour of Carlton.
Second time that he's gone for that lay across the body, Gibbs, instead of the drop punt at the goal face.
Gaff, good crumb, got his leg knocked as he kicked it, got it towards the wing, and Yarra mops it up beautifully. Centering kick to Tui. And it opens up again for the Blues. Tui wants a pass option, goes to Thomas in the pocket. Plays on, hands to Murphy, like shelling peas for the Blues. They're hot as they've ever been all year. Murphy sidestep 3.
It's only a tiny thing, but when a Carlton player gets the ball defensive side of Nick Natanui, even though he's a bit exhausted from the contest, Yarran's pace just to get forward of Natanui puts the ball into Carlton's forward running propulsion, and they don't look back from there.
Yarran's the one doing. He's the one. He's on Prittis at half-back. He's so creative. He's had 8 touches at the moment for 5 score involvements. They need to do something about him, the West Coast.
Suddenly all the big names are starting to go, Kingy.
Yeah.
They are. He's the man, Yarran. They're trying to drag him back to the goal square now. Adam Simpson's recognised that 5 score involvements in a half of football is too much for a half-back flanker.
Mark Murphy getting his confidence up. The Blues have kicked 4 of the 5 goals in this term, and they're out to a 3-goal lead. All of a sudden, now they go again. Under pressure, good play. Selwood. Big boot forward. They need something here. Off hands. Right, will it work for them? Maston wanted to take him into the goal square.
Super effort.
And then a great effort again by the man in question, and Chris Yarran forces the throw in.
And Maston went to him in the first quarter when he was doing the damage. I don't know why they changed that at quarter time. They put Cripps back on him at the start of the second quarter, and Yaron's too clever for him. So they're prepared to sacrifice one of their better midfielders in Maston to shut down the run from Yaron.
And that's a real problem, because a lot of people don't believe they have enough depth in the midfield to make that type of sacrifice.
Rosa somehow kept that alive, although the umpire now telling us it was over the line.
I've got no discussion in the box, in the Carlton box at the moment. They'd be deciding whether to roll another defender around, a wingman around to pick up Maston and try and just free up Chris Yaron. That's their trump card at the moment.
Yep.
Nat Nui front spot, but beaten by Warnock brilliantly. And pumps it. Casbolt's under it. Henderson's under it. The fists come. Garland could have taken that and gone. Wanted the flick on. Casbolt wants to go back to go forward. Lucas, great pick on the run. And the shrug. And the hand to Thomas. Options inside. Gibbs. Crutch. Kelly took him down illegally.
You've got to do that, though. If he props up over him and you get the fraction late, you've got to make him hit the deck.
Scotland's the man inside 50, not a high flyer. Tries to use the body. Gaff. Ridden nicely by Everett, who didn't go at him too hard, and McLean sprays it wide.
The other thing they can do, Kingy, if Yaron's going to get shut down, they need to release Walker. Walker can go up the ground and play the same role as what Yaron would with the run from half-back.
He's just come to the bench, Chris Yaron, for a break. Maston's come off his opponent, so they've just tried to ring the change and go a bit taller in the forward line, the West Coast, so Yaron's come for a quick break.
Off hands and good play again, Dermot. As you said, Everett all over Gaff. And there's a throw in on centre wing. The Eagles are building something nicely there at that stage.
Yeah, he got a little bit of the footy in the first quarter, albeit under pressure. Didn't have a very high disposal efficiency, but he's clamped him this second quarter.
Warnock again in the ruck, did it beautifully. Robinson nearly got through. Walker now off a step. He's a beautiful kick, and that is no exception, except Gibbs spent it before he had it. Good tackle in the end. Rosa gets it out. Brown tries to slap it on the boot, almost misses it. Casbolt off the ground. Now it's Warnock. Rosa in. Warnock again. Prittis called his name and got it, and off he goes. So Prittis now kicks. Beautiful kick. Nice lead, and Darling's got it. Too far out to score. He's got one player ahead of him. Has to wait. Now he decides to go long. Hutchings has run a long way to get to this, and he's done it beautifully. And the kick from Darling was magnificent.
Good lad. He turned Murphy around then, and Murphy never once looked back for the direction of where the ball was coming from. And that
watch this, beautiful
put
kick.
him in the box seat.
Hutchings going hard, Murphy going with him, could do nothing to stop that. The kick was perfect. So a badly needed goal to get back within 2 goals. Hutchings comes in and kicks. Oh, wow. They hurt.
Hasn't kicked one all year, only kicked one for his career. And for the 22-year-old, that's a huge miss. Staying 11, trying to establish himself.
Important couple of minutes here. Chris Yaron, Mark Murphy and Bryce Gibbs all on the bench at the moment. They just need to kill a couple of minutes here, let their guns have a rest. They've been the players of influence today for Carlton.
Walker to McLean, made it tough for him. Good half volley pick. Robinson, having a great game back into the lineup. Schofield, splendid fist, down in Wellingham's direction. Had to wait for the bounce, and in the end it went through his legs to Lycett, to Marston, trying to get one back. 15-metre kick to Gaff, who probably owes them one. Centering kick. Cripps, was that a free? Umpire said play on. Jamison, McLean. Fantastic to watch here, the Blues. Taking it on every occasion. Simpson towards Henderson. He's on the wing. He's got Scotland as a runner outside if he wants him. He does want him. Scotland can go. Waits inside 50. On the march. It's too wide. And White takes it to the line with Brown's help.
Gee, they got out of jail there, the Blues. With that Robinson kick coming into the middle of the ground, it just set it up for the big rebounding punch. Somehow they got away with it. A 50-50 touch-and-go free kick that was let go, and they were able to rebound it a second time.
A big chance for the Blues here. Warnock dominates again. Down to Simpson. Handball. Prittis gets in the way of it. Now he's in trouble. Gibbs tackles. Threw him to the ground afterwards. Used to be a free kick that once upon a time. And over the line it goes for a throw in. Once you got rid of the ball, if you're tackled and thrown to the ground.
Yeah.
In fact, it used to be a free kick and a 50 this time last year, or maybe was it last week? I'm not sure.
15-2 the tackles in this quarter as well for Carlton. They are dominating in that area. It's a good sign for Mick.
Aston in there.
Problems down here with Chris Yarran. He's been taken into the rooms. Looks like some sort of knock to the knee. Might be a cork in the right thigh. So that's a huge concern. He was the major gun that Mick Malthouse was throwing at the West Coast at the moment.
Well, Walker's loose down back now, so that is good for Carlton. If they can get the ball in his hands, he'll be very dangerous.
Wellingham just released in time not to give the free kick away. Hutchins' kick up towards the wing position off hands. Darling goes in, does well.
Oh, good power.
Does it beautifully. Now gets the handball away. Here come the West Coast Eagles. Hutchins out wide still. And the marker's being taken there by Rosa. Flicks it on. Hutchins now owes for missing one before and delivers and gets the Eagles back in the game.
Third time that Mark Hutchings has got free forward of the centre to get on the end of an Eagles possession and get a shot at goal. You see him leave the traffic there, and the repeat. Now he's once at the stoppage.
Is there a bit of lack of respect there, Doom? Like no one's going with him at all.
Had to pick up who's the on-baller standing next to him.
That's how the build-up went.
I think Hutchings got the first kick in that as well.
He can play, Hutchings. He was a captain of WA as an 18-year-old, so he can play. He was on the Saints rookie list. Didn't get a game there, so 22 years of age now. He has got the goods. Simpson. Stand start in the middle. Wide to Robinson. Almost the collect. Still good enough to Everett. Warner. Long towards the square. McLean stands under it. McKenzie held his ground magnificently. 5.5 minutes left in this half. A critical 5.5 minutes for momentum.
First two quarters, the Eagles have finished off the back half of each of these quarters. What seems to be a little bit better than Carlton.
Bennell to Shepherd.
Good kick.
So Derm hitting the last 5 minutes.
I worry for Warnock's ability to run out this game against three ruckmen.
Yeah.
Well, Lycett just took out his teammate Buckley. Another good kick inside. Gibbs. Nick Natanui closing. Prittis now. Look at this. They're away, the West Coast Eagles. This would be a big goal. Kennedy over the top. Running into the open goal. Here it comes. Cripps for his second. And gets it. Big turnover. Nick Natanui's athleticism comes to the fore.
Well, we said before, you can't measure Natanui's game by stats, can you? And his presence in the middle of the ground to turn the ball over from Bryce Gibbs, who just put too much flight on the kick, and he closed in on the skipper. And the rest was history from there. Prittis found Kennedy. Kennedy gave it over the top, and Cripps, very fast, very dangerous, and running into an open forward line, did what he needed to do and kicked the goal for the Eagles.
You're spot on about Natanui, Roo. If you measure him by his stats, he can't play. He's only taken an average of 2 marks per game his entire career. So if you look at a ruckman forward that does that, you think, well, he can't be that good. Cox slips a handball out. Scott Selwood just in time. Prittis, they have got their mojo back here at the West Coast. Bennell, handball smothered. Garland having an influence.
Good boy.
Slips into it. He wants it, and he wants it big time.
Good contest.
White dragged down by Prittis, who also wants it. Ball up.
I applaud that, Wayne. That's Jeffrey Garland saying, hey, I've arrived. I really am emotionally and mentally switched on, and I'm up for it.
Seeing another great contest, and boy, we've seen some good games this Anzac round. It's been a few grumpy old men complaining in recent times, but footy's alive and well again here today. Half forward, Cripps jumps. Good attack from Simpson, taken to the line.
Yarran back on the
ball in. Sorry, Kingy.
Sorry, Dwayne. Yarran back onto the field, which is great news for Carlton. Straight back out onto a wing against Wellingham at the moment, the back of this stoppage here. That's exactly where he likes to explode from, that half-back flank.
So inside 4 minutes left in this second term. Eagles back within a goal. Ooh, lucky, yeah. Thought it was 50 coming there, Dwayne, didn't you?
Well, he said holding Mark Murphy. I thought it was against Mark Murphy by that call.
Anyway, it's Murph's kick.
Trent Conscience done every midfielder a favour, hasn't he, boy? What happened to him the other week? They're getting a few easier free kicks, that's for sure.
Up the line towards Waite, who just took it, got underneath it a little bit. Wasn't his fault. The kick went over his head. Buckley over the line, out of bounds, throw in. And just with 3 minutes and 38 seconds, big passage of play coming up here. The Eagles have got themselves back into it with the last 2 goals.
They've kicked 4 goals in red time too so far, the Eagles, compared to Carlton's 1 point.
Almost a carbon copy of the opening term when Carlton kicked the first 4 goals of the game. And the West Coast kicked the next 4 and took a 1-point lead in at quarter time.
To the right-hand side of screen, Cox is the loose man. To the left-hand side of screen, it is Daisy. He is the loose man down there.
Good attack from both players there. Close to the line, and Rosa content to see it out. And that could be a battle that goes the distance. Waite versus Brown. 1 straight kick in it. 3 minutes 20 left to half-time. Big crowd here at Etihad Stadium. The Carlton fans have turned out, back on the winners list last week, and the West Coast Eagles coming off some iffy form. Brock McLean held, so Carlton another opportunity 3 minutes from half-time.
You're right, Ruth. They're red hot on anyone around the ball at the moment, aren't they?
He's got to go out wide. Yaron's made the break, and he hasn't picked him up yet.
Daisy Thomas chips out wide. Now he gets him down.
Well, all the Eagles are in the defensive part of the game. All 18 players now have rolled back. Be hard to score here for Carlton.
Scotland. Usually a beautiful kick of the footy. So here Scotland comes in. Bombs it long. Big mark required. Up they go from behind. Casbolt has got it.
She's a big man, Levi Casbolt. We were out there before the game, Ed.
Yep.
And we have the luxury of being out in the field with our passes and seeing them close up. He's a monster of a kid, this fella.
103 kilograms, 199 centimetres. A kilogram of hair on his chin, by looks of things too.
And remember the last one? We called it before. Pre-match, he pushed everything to the right.
Well, the last kick he had, he was a big double-handed drop that just got boot on ball. In he comes. Big kick for the Blues.
Oh, he's gone the other way. He's lost. Somewhere in between.
He's had 2 shots from 35 metres and kicked them both out of bounds on the full, either side. So
his range.
If you get the 21 metres in between, he'll score.
That's what they call in shooting. His pattern is about 40 metres apart.
Ball hits the deck. Hutchings gave to Darling. Open space ahead for the West Coast. A race. The 217s. Rowe, Kennedy, Rowe, and the boundary line. 1 minute 42 left. One kick the difference.
He's defended well. Sam Rowe's gone pretty well today. Yaron just lurking around left-hand side of this pack here.
Casbolt doing the ruck work. Beat Natanui there. Edged him out of the contest. White. Lucas. Everett. Thomas. Corralled by Natanui. Got on the boot but turned it over. Marston. This is big for momentum. Top of the square. Kennedy on the move. Rowe could have marked it. Went the double fist. Natanui trying to pounce. Prittis waiting for the knockout. And it doesn't come to him. Does now. Got his leg free. Kicks toward goal. Misses.
That's a let-off.
She's a good play, Prittis. He's been fantastic today, Matt Prittis. He's really got in hard, got the ball to his kick. It's a good one out to Waite. So inside the last minute, Blues by 5 points.
Prittis has had 21, Eddie.
21, and there have been good ones too. A couple of times when the Eagles were in big trouble, he was outnumbered, got in, got the ball. He's played great football. So too this man, Yaron, just chips it. Blues want to hold on, 40 seconds. Buckley chips it up, good kick. Has been fantastic with his disposal today. Dylan Buckley laid into the side for Carazzo. This man's kick, that was a good one. And 50. Crowd did well. Aston was just a little bit over-enthusiastic with 25 seconds on the clock.
He just got the call from the trainer as he ran past. He said, just cool it down. We've only got half a minute to go.
Which gives Brock McLean, he'll have to go his best here, Brock. But he'll kick from 50.
He clipped heels.
Front row run through the mark. There you go.
Actually, I thought you could, but it's wide open for everyone.
Everyone knew it was going to happen. So possibly should have gone the bomb to the square with the time clock showing 15 seconds. Last go for the Eagles. 10 seconds, Shuey, no one up, so he might just run it down. 8 seconds and going. 5 seconds punched away. That'll do it for the half. And we've got a beauty on our hands here at Etihad as Carlton lead by 5 points. Won the quarter by a goal, having trailed by 1 point at quarter time. But there's Dylan Buckley, who's played a pretty good game. Kennedy needs to get in it for the West Coast Eagles a little bit more. The tall timber up forward haven't really done a whole lot, but David King is boundary side for us.
So 5 points here. We've got an absolute cliffhanger here. You can see what's going on. It's an arm wrestle in the midfield. It's become a clearance contest. Can Mark Murphy rally the troops at half-time? The captain, he's been fantastic in the first half. Let's wait and see.
All right, we've got a ripper on our hands here. It's Carlton leading the West Coast Eagles at home by 5 points. The Blues rate 5.53. The Eagles 7.648. And at one stage, they got back out to an 18-point lead at the 15-minute mark of the second term, but the Eagles have been able to fight back time and time again. So here we go. Warnock for Carlton. Natanui in the ruck for the West Coast Eagles. Our bounce starts. Third quarter underway at Etihad Stadium.
And it's a terrible bounce, and it will probably be recalled. So at any
Jeez, it was a good build-up there too.
You did some of your best work there, Ed.
Try again, Ed.
Umpire Andrew Stevens, come on, mate, play the game.
That's all right. Lucky we're not live. Of course, we'll cut that bit out when it goes to air.
Thanks, mate.
From the ball up, Selwood tries to break through with it. Shuey outside of the shoe, bounce it through the legs of White. Darling peels back onto it, kicks it off the deck. Out of bounds would have been a better result for him, but they're behind to the West Coast.
For the first time today, Andrew Gaffer's started on the half-forward line, so probably trying to break the shackles. Play him as a high half-forward route. Start there and just run as far as he wants up the ground to try and lose his hard press from Everett.
And you talked about the mindset of Carlton turning the corner the last couple of weeks. We've spoken about Yaron, how he's been important. McLean's the other bloke who was dropped, and he's been fantastic today.
Now, I'll tell you what, Adam Simpson wouldn't like that. Zach Tui, who's one of their best players, I'll come back to it in a moment, because Sharon Willingham's got the ball in his hand. He misses the kick forward. Oh, they're wide open, the West Coast Eagles. Cox came at him full-chested, and he just mucked it. In fact, it was Darling who came at him full-chested and missed him altogether.
You can't miss kicks like that. Going inside 50 from that distance, unpressured, that's got to be on.
Yeah, and it'll be a bit switched on both sides, because Zach Tui just got away. Here we go. Now Carlton through Simpson. Kick is over the top, getting back is Cox and Yaron. Now it hits the dirt. There's a chance for Yaron. Cox did beautifully. Held it up. Shuey with the handball now. Brown gives it across. Now, let's see if they can get something here, the West Coast Eagles. It was going to be 3-on-1. Maston was just beaten, and it was too good by Casbolt in the air.
Long. White edged out of that contest. Shuey, the handball to Brown. They both go to ground and low. Thomas slipped the handball out, hoping for Robinson. Ball in.
The point I was making before is Zach Tui, who's got a kick on him like a mule, kicks out from fullback, goes short, gets the next one, it took it up to halfback flank without anybody even going near him to block him, get in the way, smother, man up, anything.
Yeah, you make a great point.
Prentice jumped on.
Thank you.
And now Blues fans want ball. See, that was tough. That's been talked about a bit this week, with the jumping on the guy's back in a tackle. And Murphy wins that one nicely. Pokes the pass. Henderson, crunch. Shuey back, and he's hurt.
I think he's got a corked bum.
Have you ever had one of them right on the top of the pelvis, where on the back?
Just watch it from behind here.
And that's exactly where it is.
Just above the hip there as well.
And they bleed forever in there.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, the bruise will, I guarantee
He
you.
won't be able to touch his toes for about 4 days.
Yeah, I tell you, Lockie Henderson did enough to make him feel it, but did enough not to completely iron him out.
The good part for Henderson is that he took the ball on the way through it.
Yeah.
He had eyes on the ball, not the eyes on the man, and there's a massive difference in that. Had he just looked at the man the whole way, he was in trouble. He'd probably miss a week or two.
Nothing wrong with that, as you say, Dwayne.
It is still a tough sport, and if you're legitimately going for the ball, you normally cut a lot of slack, and that was just a good, hard footy contest. Marston.
They've seized him up, forced him to go down the line here. No easy outs.
It's under that. Rosa! There's your marker season so far. Awesome.
What a great mark. Now that has got to go onto every highlight package. That's gutsy, it's courageous.
Textbook, because he just turns to right at the last minute. If you have a look, he just turns to cover himself and clashes heads with Cripps on the way down.
And you've got to give Tui a tick as well, don't you?
I think everyone gets a tick there.
That was great.
Back to Rosa. I think he wanted to have a breather for a second, but it came back to him. And McLean takes the mark at half-back. 4 points to margin. Fantastic contest, and it's been tight virtually from the time the West Coast Eagles hit back from Carlton's first 4 goals of this game. Wide kick and get in there. Jeff Figart takes the mark.
Bit of rope-a-dope so far in the 4 minutes we've played in this third term. Bit of feeling out. I think we'll see the boot go down shortly as Garland kicks it high up in the air, up towards Casbolt, who's edged underneath it by the first game of McGovern, who did well. So McGovern gets it across to Hutchings, who's been good so far. Kennedy is the lead. You can hear the call there from Rue, and that's where it's gone. Good kick, good mark. And Kennedy, who we said just before before half-time, needed to really get into this game, has kicked 1 goal, but the tall forwards need to get a couple of easy goals to him. Ball in, mark, go back, kick, goal.
Absolutely. Every goal they're getting has been real hard work, hard drive, hard run from behind. They need a couple of the stock standard presentation from a key forward like that. Take the mark inside 50. We all settle, and he drills a big one.
From right on 50, he's kicked through the ball beautifully. It's just going to fade, I think, on this trajectory. It does, and it's thumped through for a rush behind.
Just looking at the scores in time on it, and it's probably a reverse of what we're seeing. The West Coast have got 3 ruckmen out there in Lysette, Nick Nat and Cox. You'd expect that to be overran late in quarters, but it's 4 goals 2-1 behind in time on in that first half. So the West Coast would do well just to hold on for this first 10 or 15 minutes.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in that last quarter too, Kingy. They couldn't hold on last week against Port Adelaide, who ran over the top of them, but they are a super fit side. So that last quarter today is going to be interesting.
And to see what happens with the subs, of course, for the West Coast Eagles. They've got Dom Sheed as their sub, so only game 4 for him, some inexperience. Casbolt long, Henderson, Bennell. Good hands, Henderson. Thought he held that long enough.
Yep.
And now he jumps over the top of the tackle.
Bit of a mismatch, wasn't it, Dwayne?
I thought he held it.
Bennell.
But the umpire was close to the 9.
So up goes, well, no one goes up in the end. Good play as Gaff gets it going. Bennell handballs through. Brown found some space. That was good. Out the Cox to Prittis. They've done well, the West Coast Eagles, out of that ball up towards the wing position. Lysette gets his arms chopped. Advantage paid. Rosa over the top. Now they're away. Cripps. He runs to half forward. Not much on. He's just holding. Goes back to Rosa. He's getting plenty of it to Selwood. Selwood looking. Now, inside he goes. That's the kick. Saw somebody. McGovern is playing a great game on his debut. The boy from North Albany, in Albany, I'll get it right, North Albany in Western Australia, via Claremont, gets his chance to go back and kick his first goal in football. And if he does, he'll put the Eagles in front.
Hold that line.
Well, he did have the injury interrupted season. Some would say he's arrived a little bit late. He had a hip injury which restricted him somewhat in his previous season.
22 years of age for his first goal in footy to put the Eagles in front. He delivers all that and more. Congratulations, Jeremy McGovern. Welcome to the big time, son.
Well, have a look at that. It's one of the great things in football. He'd just be cock-a-hoot at the moment. All his teammates coming over. There's Shuey. That's courageous. Henderson made him pay, did it legally, did it fair, and then Rosa backing it up with a really courageous grab. Cripps gets a hit in the scone, Tui gets one in the back, and just great footy, great start. Hard running football here from there's the arms getting waved, and he got spotted and got a goal.
In the seesawing game, a couple of lead changes already. And right now, the West Coast have their biggest lead of the game, 3 points. They did lead by a point earlier. So the Blues under some pressure. Simpson long, inside 50. Good float back, and the mark's built by McKenzie.
1-0.
Brown flicks it out. Selwood, good attack from Wade, stole it from him. Thomas, barking some instructions, might be forced to kick it in the end. Goes to Murphy. Henderson, he led the wrong way. Henderson went back to the square. Garlett makes a contest. Locked in by both players, and there's the in the back. Stop the ball up against Garlett. Schofield back into the lineup this week. It's the free back pocket. Cox, good hands.
Well, it was a good kick, wasn't it? Just put it to the advantage side, Derm. As a tall player, as a forward, you just want to kick to your advantage side to make it just about impossible for the defender.
Now from here, you see Cox exit the screen. Now the worry for Warnock is when will Cox reappear at the ball again, and can he follow him all the way?
Big Eric McKenzie trying to get the 1-2 going there to Yeo. Yeo holds it up. McKenzie wanted him to run further forward. He skins the ball along the ground. Wellingham unable to pick it up, but he goes again and goes again and goes again. Dragged off the ball, got it forward. Now it's Scotland. A couple of old Collingwood players there together. The kick from Murphy comes out to another one. Daisy. Well, they have got it. They have to call it.
Back to Thomas.
Here's Daisy.
Back to the ex-Magpie Eddie. And he flicks it back. Of course, Carlton and Collingwood next Friday night. What a game that's going to be. You'll see that live on the network you're watching now. Looking forward to that one already. Jamison wide. Casbolt takes the mark.
I was in the rooms at half-time, Dwayne. They're talking about using this uncontested brand if they can down the wing line. Just if you've got a man on you, run back into traffic. If you're unmanned, break to space. That's why it looks so slow. But they're just trying to draw that loose man for West Coast into the play.
Scotland finds some space. He goes long.
Whoops.
The bounce.
Free kick.
Wide. Umpires put the whistle away for a second or two here. Good attack from Tui. Knocks it out. Buckley. Cut off although by Selwood. He goes back in. The game's lifted another gear here. Slapped out to McKenzie. Feeds a handball wide to Marston on the run. Collects. Wants to go forward. Forced all the way back. Rosa chips the kick wide and they can reload. Shepherd. Marston. Darling's on the move. It's in front. White was worn him like a glove. Darling just toes it inside 50. Rowe. Walker. And he wants to peel to the open side. He's got Bryce Gibbs and he hits him beautifully.
So Gibbs has it on defensive 50. 3 points down the Blues. Long kick out to the wing was a good one. Good defensive play there for the Eagles by Yeo. He went twice, went a third time. Now Daisy Thomas, beautiful pickup. Lovely left handball over the top. Yaron twisting and turning, looking to find some space. He does. He gets it to Robinson. His kick is a beauty. And Jeff Garlett comes out, takes the mark. And Garlett, who has kicked 2 goals, both in that second term, has a chance to put Carlton back in front.
Well done by Daisy Thomas. Very clever pick up and give in the one motion. That just gave Carlton the space it needed to get a good forward 50 entry.
He's got to just punch this one through. If he just lobs up a high shot that clears the line, his kicks tend to veer one way or the other on the death. Got to punch it through.
He punches it hard, but Dermott's just swung, as you said. Didn't quite get through it, did he?
Just on that one with Waite as well, when he was tunnelled on that, Joel Patfull would be watching this replay in Queensland right at the moment saying, how did I get done for the ones on Revolt last night? Because that's how he spoiled as well. Oh, Jared! It's just inconsistent.
Yeah, a little bit, but I suppose, if anything, they should have been paid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The umpires are human, and given there's 9 games and 3 of them officiating each game, you're going to have slight variations in interpretation. That's exactly what you're going to have. Wellingham. Wide. Lysette and Rowe. Lysette goes with a big fist. He hasn't really seen it all that much today. Brought back into the lineup, Scott Lysette, after a 5-goal forward performance last week in the Waffle.
Warnock is struggling to get to this because Natanui ran him forward. Now he gets coverage from Rowe and just makes it to the stoppage.
McLean off the deck. Shepherd does exactly that. Allowed Yeo to come in. And he takes it to the line. So a little bit of a stalemate here as everybody gets a breath. It's a 2-point game. The West Coast Eagles lead.
So throw in. Warnock gets the front spot. Lysette reaches over the top. Maston's been good today. Ball comes back to Shepherd, who gives it a good hoik forward. Who's there? Ball hits the deck. Bennell lurking. Finds the open space into the open goal and kicks it.
clearance.
Big goal to the Eagles.
Big clearance out the back route.
Absolutely good speed from Brunel. We'll have another look at it in a minute, but the clearances have been important all day and just threatens to win this game. Let's have a look here at the kick. Jamison looked like he was going to take the mark. He went to ground, and then Kennedy and Brunel just come through with his good leg speed. Could have given it inside, but thought I can do it myself. And lucky for him, he did.
So a good goal to Bennell. They've kicked the last 4 goals of the game, the West Coast Eagles. Daisy Thomas hurt himself here. Watch this. He got cleaned up after he got that handball away. Ended up on that artificial turf, which is pretty hard and actually burns, but he's back on the ground. You can see him there running in off the wing.
Did he hurt himself before as he picked the ball up and handballed?
Could have been a combination.
Yeah.
I think he worked for about 100 metres to get across to that contest, Dwayne, and he was absolutely spent. It just shows how hard these Carlton midfielders are running. They are really trying to lift their side here.
So the last 4 goals to the West Coast Eagles.
Naitanui, the pick on the run, keeps it mobile. Stolen back by Gibbs to Simpson, to Lucas. Missed Scotland, kicks it off the carpet anyway. Shepherd runs at it, getting there first. Brown, thumped it wide. Gaff, beaten for it by Everett, so he strips him. McLean, Everett, over the head of Tui. Tui thought there was someone else there, but it was his ball. Feeds it off. This is good. Gibbs, nice build up to Wait. He needs to finish. Runs to 40. Splendid. Superb footy, but he missed.
Oh, he had Henderson at the top of the square. 15 maybe out. Oh, Huggy Bear.
Finn Katoja.
It's been a good paddock if it's Finn.
That was a good
like
dude.
Finn.
That's a real good dude.
McKenzie, big bomb out. Up towards Nick Naitanui. Couldn't quite get it. Maston's been fantastic. So too Shuey. He can run a long way. He decides to go with the inside 50 kick. Probably should have gone that little bit further, but Rowe, as Dermot said, picked it better than anyone. That was his highlight, and that's his downline.
Yeah, he wanted to get it out there quickly. He knew the fast break was on if he could release the ball.
One thing for certain, Dermot, that wasn't deliberate.
Yeah. Well, you see, had he kicked into Josh Kennedy, it's probably 50 metres if he hasn't been called play on. And he made an amendment for Kennedy being there.
Good tackling. Ball spills out. Casbock, geez, a bull of a man. Lysette drags him to the ground. We'll have another ball up inside 50. I've mentioned again, 4 goals in a row. The West Coast Eagles were 18 points down at the 15-minute mark of the second term. They've kicked the last 4 to lead by 8, which is a game-high lead for the Eagles. Big chance here for them. Cox goes in, gets the tap. Prittis again. He's accomplishing crime. And look at this, Dylan Buckley wants the 1-2, gets it across. Now the kick from Simpson is up to the wing position, and the Blues have got a chance through Big Henderson.
He launches long. Garland beats Yo, gets there, can't complete the deal though. It was a tough half volley, and Yo fortunately was behind. Shepherd to McKenzie. Now the West Coast trying to find bodies. Prittis, one hand at it. Under siege, jumped on, got it up. Marston, turnover, just in time. Buckley, Gibbs, White. He can launch if he wants to. Goes long. Wait. Brown. Wait. Got a hand to it. Feeds back. Missed it completely. Still a chance to go. McLean. Sensational.
Deep ball. The threat, Dwayno, is the real deep ball that gets to within 25. If it spills and it stays alive, it is really dangerous. You see, he keeps it alive here. It doesn't trickle over the back. Well, not too far anyway. Stays alive. Good recovery. Good follow-up from McLean. Been involved in a couple out the back. Wait.
So well played by Jared Waite, just kept his composure, beat a couple of opponents, then fed Brock McLean, who put it right through the middle, and the Blues are back within a point.
Sub's been made, boys. Menzel into the game. The red vest is dangling for someone in a moment.
All right. So we'll see who doesn't come back on. There's good hands from Wellingham. The ball goes inside 50. Eagles haven't taken too many marks up forward, deep in the forward line. Doom, have they? In goes Buckley, has been fantastic. White. Murphy concedes. Good play by the Carlton side as it comes out through Jamison, and they can reload from the back pocket.
They don't get separation though, Ed. the big West Coast Eagles forwards.
Tui is a beautiful kick of the football, the Irishman. Again, he hits it well up the line, a little bit over his teammate's head there. Straight into the play was Menzel. Here's Daisy Thomas, little flick over the top to himself. The 1-2, he fell over, and it goes over the line out of bounds.
Big news, Ed. Chris Yaron is out of this game, and that is a game changer. 6 score involvements, he's high damage.
Is he injured?
He went forward for a while, Kenny, so I reckon he might have a niggle.
He looks sore. It looked like some sort of knee or cork in the right thigh, but unfortunately, we won't see him again today.
I thought he was getting a rub on his back earlier, Kingy, so keep an eye on that. Well, he's done for the day anyway, but short turnaround, Friday night game next week.
And we know Mick doesn't like to make the substitution
Before
three-quarter time,
yeah.
unless it's completely necessary, so you'd think he might be in a bit of trouble.
Well, he did get pushed forward about 10-12 minutes ago and spent a bit of time up there, so I think his biggest go in this current day and age is just blistering pace to split open teams from the back half of the ground. Yeah, a little bit of a nudge.
That could hurt them late in the game, I think, Carlton. That sub early.
Shepherd kicks inside 50 with the play on advantage. Nat Nui, the excitement machine, keeps it in front. Can't quite row. Yes, he can, Nat Nui. No, can't. Just over the line.
This is where he's dangerous, though. If he goes for the right contest here, they actually throw it to him.
I reckon you were reading his mind then, Dwayne. Yes, I can. No, I can't. Yes, I can. No, I'm not sure.
That's the beauty of him in some respects.
He's a ripper.
Gang tackle on Selwood, and we'll do it again.
If Carlton are to win this game, Lockie Henderson needs to have a big 40 minutes of football. He was fantastic last week with 5 goals. They are craving some input from him now.
Did well, Rowe.
Selwood caught just as he attempted to kick it. McLean found the boundary. How will the umpire read this? It's gone.
Should not be.
Where else could he kick it? He had to kick in a straight line.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that should not be.
That is a shocker.
That was from the middle of a stoppage.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
Slides the kick, top of the square, aiming for Prittis. Off hands, hits the deck. Good attack. Both players. Tui dives in. Again, the game lifts in intensity. Prittis tries to peel his way past a couple. Murphy outside of the boot. Menzel just on. Got one high. And of course, the West Coast still with their sub Dom Sheed yet to be brought into the contest. So they've got one in reserve.
Menzel, such an exciting young player for the Carlton side in his 12th game.
Well done, good shepherd from Walker. Allows him a bit of time. Comes back to him now.
Yeah, and read the old 1-2 with Walker. He's hit it off the side of the boot there. Shuey wasn't expecting it coming to him. He thought it was going to Robinson, and when it came as quick as it did, he didn't get his hands up in time. Now, Tui with a big handball into the middle of the ground, ducked his head. Ooh, that's a duck of the head. He might be in trouble if holding the ball. No, umpire says 50-50 bounce.
Poor handball. Speared at his feet.
Yeah.
Well, he did duck his head there, Simpson, didn't he?
You've got to pay that holding the ball for mine.
Well, he had prior opportunity.
Once you duck your head, you've had your prior. You elected to duck.
Well, you're a hard man, Dwayne. Ball up, I thought was all right. Anyway, here we go. The Blues. Buckley. Nice handball again. I'll tell you what, his efficiency rating has been sensational. Lucas. Up the line.
Oh, slipped.
Oh, big go here. Simpson on the fall of the ball, just tries to kick it out.
He
did
meant
it beautifully. He did. He saw his teammate coming. The cavalry was there, and the Blues stayed in. Still a chance. Now it goes over the line out of bounds.
Yeah, he meant that. That was so clever. He just back-heeled it because he knew, as you call it, the cavalry was coming. I mean, that's really thinking your way through it when under real fire.
Warnock and Cox. Murphy.
Yeah, well done, Murphy.
Slips it to Thomas. Hands it to Scotland. Opens it up. Top of the square. Here's Henderson on cue. Can't take the mark. Schofield to Crumb. West Coast to reload. Gaff being pursued. Needs to hit Brown. Got him. Open spaces ahead. Darling's there for him. Lysette's there for him. He gives to the runner Gaff. Being pursued by Gibbs. Gibbs runs him down. Great play. Casbolt arrives. Back to Gibbs. Blues on the reload this time. Tui does the step work on Rosa. Hands it off to Everett. Hasn't got a lot of options long. Forced to give the handball. Garland pokes it over Henderson's head. Blazed away, Shepherd.
Got a lot of numbers back, West Coast Eagles. They must run the ball out. If they got the extra numbers inside defensive 50, they've got to use it wisely coming out.
That's the game at the moment. Carlton are trying to soak up that extra player through the midfield, trying to get the overlap going and expose the West Coast for having that loose man. West Coast are comfortable with that extra defender there at the moment, and they're trying to pick off that intercept ball.
And that's why that long kick that gets inside 25 metres is so dangerous against them.
Here's the danger now. The turnover up towards Warnock. He had the height advantage. Shepherd comes in, relieves the pressure, did well, found some space, and the kick was reasonably good. McGovern can go flat out of the ball here.
Good chase.
Menzel chased well. Now a chance. Tui has just been fantastic. That one not so good. He's just pushed off the ball, which was good play there by Schofield. Got enough. Now they are dog-tied. Here's the kick forward. That's the way to do it when you're tied. Get it up the field as quickly as you can. And a beautiful mark has been taken there by Cripps.
See him just point to his teammate. Get back, get back. He just bought enough time by taking him to ground in the action.
Look at this. The kick was over. Darling was there. He just had too much.
Geez, had some hard knocks, Cripps, today. He's done some hard running, but he's had some hard hits too.
He had 3 options and he took the 4th one.
White, fatigue setting in here. We're inside 2 minutes and they are cooked, these players. They need a rest. Manel does well. Good attack. Handball not so good, but it's out of play. He did brilliant moments ago, Benell. Height disadvantage on Warnock, brought it to ground and stopped a sure goal for the Blues. This game's well and truly alive with a quarter and change left.
Yeah, you make injuries when you're tired, so don't be surprised if it's a bad turnover here.
Marston dragged down. Did he have prior? Umpire said no, ball up.
Well, for me, Natanui sitting on the bench is very good at clearances and following up his own work. If he goes against a Casbolt and also Warnock in the last quarter and he's got a bit of run in his legs, he's going to be tough to stop.
And they might take Lysette off. They might take a big man off and put Sheed, a smaller man, on. Kick towards Shuey. Can't mark it. Ball knocked to Lucas Hilly. Wanted to handle to Buckley, but he was over the boundary line. And we'll get a ball in. Speaking of the boundary line, Mick's stalking it as he loves to do with 3/4 time approaching. And there's the ice, burning a hole in Zach Tui.
He's drilling him about that screw kick back into the forward line.
So to Yo, little fumble, takes off, runs inside 50 and nails a monster.
Well, we said those ruckmen are going to get taller, or they stay the same height as it goes on. And the hit over the back. Yeah, have a look at Cox here. Knew what he was doing, got it over the back. And Yo with his leg speed, who's been dangerous all day. Good pick up from Brisbane to get him and his leg speed through the middle of the ground, and a really, really good finish. So exactly what the West Coast Eagles needed heading into 3/4 time.
Gee, wasn't he lucky with the bounce back? That little fumble came home.
The Eagles have kicked 5 of the last 6 goals in the game to lead by 7 points. A steaming Mick Malthouse on the boundary line with just over a minute left in this quarter. Big minute of play. The Eagles have dominated the time-on period so far in the earlier 2 quarters, but this time it's Scotland who bombs it long up towards the full forward position. Beautiful punch away by Eric McKenzie. Benell through the middle of the ground. He runs with fresh legs and kicks out wide. This will test his teammate. He gets it out. Cripps has been fantastic today so far. Gets the handball back to Wellingham. Wellingham's kick is to the pocket, and he comes. Oh, Kennedy dropped the sitter, and it's over the line and out of bounds. Oh, it's intentional. The Carlton fans, there's one bay of West Coast Eagles supporters, and they've got twice intentional out of bounds right in front of them.
Oh, Troy Pennell's gone for the intentional.
Wow. Josh Kennedy, 36 seconds on the clock. They lead by 7 points. One section of the crowd here on a Blues home ground. On the other side of the country, have got them 2 free kicks. Kennedy's kick is on its way. It bends back, but not enough. And a bit of poetic justice, maybe.
And I'm just having a look at Mick Malthouse down here. As you can see, this deliberate play, it probably was deliberate in the end. But you can see whenever Mick comes down, he comes down about 3 minutes before the quarter finishes, which is considered time on. It's 5 goals, 3 to 1 point. I'm suggesting Mick stay in the box next week.
I tell you what, it's made a few of the Carlton players nervous. He said he's scheming. He's doing the lot down there. He'll come on and get a kick in a minute. Prentice, dying seconds, down to 9. Big fly, Lysette, Kennedy, off hands, goal class. He's steaming now.
Right on the Mick Malthouse barking out the orders. 6 of the last 7 goals have been all West Coast Eagles against these Blues. And as David King just told us from the boundary, it has been a time-on fiasco for Carlton today as the Eagles hit their biggest margin of the game so far. They lead by 14 points. Still plenty of time for the Blues. We're in for an absolute belter here at Etihad Stadium. Carlton 61, Eagles 75.
We'll give you some more information on that shortly.
Well, the fatiguing Warnock against the bloke he's rucking, Natanui, might rove his own crumb here and do some damage.
But they were intended to get McGovern, the first gamer, subbed out. Some massive games across this Anzac weekend, but for these two teams, this is the one that matters. They were awesome in the last quarter last week, the Blues, to get their first win of the season. They're not done yet. Gaffer roller inside 50. Cox playing out a full forward row. Got there first. Stolen by Marston. Gave to Rosa. Hand to Shuey. A kick high and hope. Everett should jump. Could have marked. Thumps wide. Bounced unkindly. And Willingham took it to the line.
They're asking for a delivery.
75-61. The biggest lead the Blues had was 24 points. Right now, it's the biggest lead the West Coast have had, 14. Buckley dragged down, just got the handball to Murphy.
Big kick.
To Walker. Menzel, fresh man, came on as the sub. Against him, Shepherd, wanted down, but Menzel pounced like a cat. He landed and spears that pass to Henderson. He couldn't miss it.
So Henderson just waits, not much on. In fact, he had a lead from Waite. In the end, he goes long.
No support.
Was there? No. Yo gets the mark.
That was Yo on Casbolt.
Yeah, even if it hit the deck, though, he had no support. West Coast were going to clear.
Prittis's 28th disposal was another good one. White for Carlton. Long kick, 2-on-1. Eagles got the numbers again. Hits the deck. Yo couldn't hold the mark, but they got the numbers. Good play by Prittis again. This bloke Menzel's added something to Carlton since he's come on, but that kick wasn't any good over the line out of bounds.
Yeah, he has, but if you go back to the half-back line when they looked inboard, that's the type of ball they look for Yaron to just split them open.
Yeah.
He's not there, and that's a big part of their weaponry gone. They're going to have to do something extraordinary here, the Blues.
Darling's the lead up to the wing. Walker was ripe with him. Ball to the back. Simpson. He's got Everett running for him. He ignores that. And the handball turnover. Cripps to Shuey. Shepherd. The poke pass. Darling to set it all up from outside 50. Opens it up to Rosa. Runs inside 50. This will hurt. William on the line. Umpire said it's a behind.
Derm, I'd love your conversation, Derm, to get involved in the conversation with you about the centre-half forward for Carlton. They're using Casbolt there at the moment. For me, you need Waite or Henderson, a real creative types. Casbolt gets caught in too many one-on-ones and being beaten at the moment, and even when he wins, he's not creative enough.
Prittis again. 50 metres out, kicks it to the square, getting back to him. Couldn't quite hold the mark. Wellingham's got him. Good play. Nice handball, though. Lucas across the face of goal. Everett in the back pocket. Oh, dangerous kick. Danger, danger, danger. McKenzie should have kicked first time. That's gone. Great tackle by Henderson. Save the day.
Just on that one, Kingy, that handball turnover at half-back flank about 90 seconds ago, that's because he looked up and wanted to kick down the line, but there was no presentation from a half-forward, so he looked for the shorter option handball and got turned over.
Here's Henderson's kick. Not sure what he was looking for there. Marked by Bennell. Brown has it on centre wing on the outer side of Etihad Stadium. Decides to kick long and strong, looking for Cox, who leads up, does well, gets to the front of the play, knocks it to the boundary line, and says to his partner in crime, Prittis, let's go, let's set up, let's get a goal here. Let's see if this was a point or not. Wellingham up and marks. Yep. And a clear point, right done by the goal umpire. So the throw in and Natanui gets the tap.
Jamison gets it off. McLean wide. They need a hero from somewhere, the Blues. They had Murphy and Henderson last week in a heroic come-from-behind performance to get their first win of the season.
You saw that last tap out. Natanui just forges ahead of Warnock to follow up. and he can't really go with him. It's danger written all over it, but they get away from it here now.
Here's Murphy on cue. White wants to bang it. Garlett's got 3 to beat inside 50. They go up against him. Shepherd, a huge fist, bounced unkindly. McLean was about to pounce, and Sheed, just on as the sub, was the man in the spot. And Gaff has it at half-back. Mackenzie. 4.5 minutes gone. Final turn.
Oh, he's off now.
Marston looks up. Doesn't really know where to go. Everyone's covered. Had to pick a one-on-one. He goes to Darling Walker. Darling slaps it on. Good strength. Kept going. Walker went down. Rowe pinned him. Couldn't grab an arm though. Handball to the hot spot. Naitanui tried to turn them inside out. Warnock equal to it. Kennedy kicked the ripper just before the break. Can't kick this one. Prentice. Kennedy got it on the toe. And they drag it through 4 behind. Crazy scramble, but they're hanging in there, the Blues.
Just didn't know what was going to happen there, did we?
Look how close this was. And Dylan Buckley, well, he handed it over in the end.
He was a bit scared of getting a deliberate rush, I think.
He was lucky, as it turned out. Anyway, the Blues, trailing by 16 points, obviously need to get the next goal to get into this game. Can't concede the next goal to the West Coast Eagles.
Good touch.
And the Eagles at the moment are quite happy to run a bit of time off the clock. So 5 3/4 minutes gone. As you can see, 15 minutes left to play. Schofield's been great all day, and it goes over the line out of bounds. There's Sheed, who's the fresh legs, the sub, hands the ball to the boundary umpire. Throw in right on centre wing. Again, the Ruckman set themselves back a long way, and as the fatigue sets in, even with the boundary umpires, it was a shallow throw in. Cox did it well.
He's tried to duck into that. That's holding the ball.
Shuey, who just got it out. Selwood, little underground handball. Over the line, out of bounds, throw in. Murphy, a good tackle on Hutchings.
That's the one I was talking about earlier. If you duck.
Yeah, watch, he absorbs this and he stays down trying to shrug through it.
He was trying to get the free kick for over the shoulder.
And if you're doing that, and how long's he held it?
Prentice, he tries to shrug to a high. Yeah, I think if you duck, you take that option. We've talked about it a bit, but been a lot of talk about free kicks not being paid this year. 77 to 61.
2 ruckmen here for the Eagles.
Cox the flick, went for Sheed, stolen by Gibbs. Hammers it towards the wing. Schofield goes up. Nice pounce, back to Yo. Just outside 50, Lysette. Not quite. Did all the hard work. Murphy. Little side step. And it works.
Well done.
Bumped
Good
in
boy.
brilliantly. Thought that through. The kick
Big
wasn't so
contest.
good. Scotland's attack was good. Ball comes out towards Selwood. Bennell and Selwood weren't on the same page. He's hurt Selwood.
Yep.
Hutchings pokes it wide. Buckley gets back again. Playing the game of his life. And he is a now rising star contender this year.
Gee, Elliott Yo's giving some problems off the half-back flank. He's getting all his possessions forward of the centre and looks threatening every time he gets near the footy.
Well, it's an interesting matchup, Derm. I've been watching it closely.
Yep.
He's on Casbolt now.
There he is.
He's 6'2" up against Casbolt, who's, 6'6". So Adam Simpson very comfortable to have a smaller player on the bigger Casbolt. For that exact reason, to run off and provide some spark through the middle of the ground.
Yeah, Casbolt in the end just kicked it long, and it's coming back. Cox brings the ball out.
Self-defeating. It's self-defeating at the moment, Roo. They've taken 1 mark inside their forward 50 since half-time, Carlton, and that was Jeff Garlett sneaking forward. This is not working, this setup with the 3 tolls at the moment.
Bennell goes off the ground. Good play. Saw a teammate up ahead, and it's a beauty too. Schofield's had a great day today. Looking around, holds it. No one comes at him. Look at this. Had a choice of about 3 plays to go to. Now Rosa can chip forward. He just waited and waited, and Sheed with the fresh legs takes the mark and can line up from 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle, or even better than that. And if he kicks this, I don't know if there's any coming back. Hasn't kicked the goal.
Well, it's 9 inside 50s to 1, Eddie, in the last quarter, so that's as dominant as it gets. 45 disposals to 28. So if the West Coast Eagles can just keep possession of the ball and use the ball well, it's going to be hard to get the back off them.
The boy from Mines Rovers What a great name for a footy club in Western Australia via Subiaco for his first goal in footy. He comes in, he lines it up, he splits the middle, and Dom Sheed gets his name in the scorebook, and the Eagles grab this game by the throat.
Just have a look at the West Coast defence. They've been fantastic all year, and that's been the #1 thing that Adam Simpson's put the focus on. Let's get this defence right and build from there. As we said, ranked #1 this year, conceding only on average 67 points. Carlton is stuck on 61 at the moment. I think it's a great base to build your club going forward. There's no doubt John Worsfold had that mindset with the West Coast, and Adam Simpson's taken it to a new level.
They've had a great defence, the West Coast Eagles, and they've done it without Beau Waters and Shannon Hearn for most of it. And their skipper, Darren Glass, not out there again today. So great for other players to be able to step up.
Kicked 7 of the last 8 goals, the West Coast. 22 points is their biggest lead of the game. If you just joined us, the Blues led earlier by 24. They kicked the first 4 goals of this afternoon. Warnock down. Under some pressure now, Carlton. Get their season on track and holding the ball. Good free. Gibbs takes off and bombs. Hoping. Big leap weight. Couldn't quite clutch it. And Shepherd could take it to the line. Thought about it. Dangerous kick, but there's perfection for you.
They look like they've got run in the legs, Dwayne and Derm and Ed, don't they? They just look like they've got a bit more speed, a bit more zip.
He's been good, Brad Shepherd, hasn't he? There he is again, just on the overlap, has a bounce. He's been good with his kicking so far today too. He'll bring me undone, I'm sure. No, he goes and gets his own ball. Well played. Couple of possessions there. Handball over the top wasn't good. Hutchings held it up long enough. The Blues have kicked 1 goal too since half-time.
That's a great tackle.
Marston now chips it forward. That's a beautiful kick, and Kennedy comes out and takes it on his chest. Looks up, kicks out wide. There's West Coast Eagles everywhere. And Matt Rose has got it. And we'll just run a bit of time off the clock here.
Yeah, they're all over him at the moment, and they're just getting goal side. They're fitter at the moment, or they're fresher, and it could get ugly if they're not careful here, Carlton.
He's been good today, Matt Rose. He took one of the great marks of season 2014. Courageous mark. Great stuff. He goes back. They've kicked the last 3 on the trot, the West Coast Eagles. This is bending back, but not enough, is it? It's just coming back. No, misses to the right-hand side.
An interesting
that would have been curtains if he had to kick that.
Sorry, Ed had an interesting discussion with the fitness staff of the West Coast prior to the game today about the balancing act of your players training to the levels of, say, a Port Adelaide or a North Melbourne in a pre-season sense, and juggling the travel factor. They feel they've got enormous scope as the year goes on to get fitter.
Blues, you wouldn't think a kick could just yet. They need to kick 4 goals in a row to take this lead back. They kicked 4 in the first 11 minutes of this game.
That's tackle with intent by Jack Darling.
They need to kick 4 in this last 11 minutes. Schofield inside 50, high. Cripps sets himself. Good fist, Lucas. Cripps pounces, wasted no time and wasted the opportunity. Blood rule.
I've got to say that, Dwayne, as we wait for this blood rule to happen, in a physical sense, it's almost lip service to tackling sometimes. But when you get Jack Darling, get a line on a target to come and just make that takedown to create a turnover. Sometimes we see tacklers as a stat, and they're just, you know, we're in a pack and we tackle. But there's Daisy there. Here we go. Bang.
He looks shot, Daisy. Yeah.
But that was real intent to take him down. Great tackling.
Sends a message, doesn't it, when you've got a ferocious forward doing that sort of stuff.
Oh, here we go. Turnover City coming up. Eagles are all over Carlton at the moment. It spills out the back. Darling, who just went in so hard before. Good play by Robertson. Maston, nearly grabbed without the ball. Nearly had his head taken off. Umpire said, play on. To the teeth of goals. Up it goes. Off hands. Rowe was there. Grabbed by White. Goes to ground. Umpire says, ball it up. No, free kick for Carlton.
There's a second one. How did Maston not get that free kick?
That is bizarre.
Blindsided.
Blindsided.
All 3 of them.
If we had a whistle, we would have given it to him.
Lucas to Rowe, who just says, get out of here with that kick. So, Shuey leads the race to the ball. Gibbs is all over him. Good play by both players. Comes out the back. Brown has been good today. Just overran the ball. Here's Scotland now. Inside 50 with the kick is a beauty. And the mark has been taken by Jeff Garlett, who has kicked 2 goals in that second term and has kicked 1 point since then. So a big kick. Has to kick this to have any chance, Carl.
Best game I've seen Jeffy Garlett endeavour to play for quite some time. Not huge stats for the day, Roo, but his endeavour has been wonderful. He's really applied himself.
Nice balanced approach at the goal, and he splits the middle and gives Carlton just that glimmer of hope.
It's his intentions, what you're talking about. He's created a couple of goals just out of that. He's been tackling. He's kicked 3 goals at 4 inside 50s.
8 contested possessions for a small forward. He went occasions over the last 12 months. He went 4 weeks without getting 8 contested possessions.
I don't think anyone likes playing 2s for a couple of weeks, do they, do?
No, it's certainly shoved him into gear.
As if you'd know, Dom. Or Euro.
15.
Back in the middle. Still plenty of time left in this. If the Blues can find some inspiration from somewhere. Everett marks at half-back. Their season on the line again here, the Blues. They got it back on track last week with their first win of the year. It's on the line again. White backtracks. Takes some time. Scotland. Tui. Can they get their mojo back? 50. So this will bring it within range.
Here we go.
And Tui is a long kick of the ball. This could be massive. This will make it a 2-goal game.
I think he thought the ball bounced instead of not being a mark.
We're 120 metres away. He's 12. We hear the whistle. Not just through the Mike's effect. Mike effects as well.
Big kick, this one for the Irishman.
This is a massive kick for the Blues in the context of their season. They certainly don't want to start 1-5. And he kicks the goal.
That's pure.
Breathtakingly beautiful off the boot. And they are well and truly alive.
Yeah, that's a mark. Just had to wait for it to go through in slow motion. He's got control of it all the time. It does touch the ground, but it never leaves his hand, Roo. You're scoffing. You don't believe it, do you?
That was close. It was borderline. And at the end of the day, you play the whistle, don't you? Like you said. So, tough one.
Could they dare from here?
Suddenly, in the space of 2 minutes, Carlton are back in the game. It's a 2-goal margin. 12 points the difference. Plenty of time on the clock. Natanui gets up, gets a tap to Shuey to Prentice. The old firm of the West Coast Eagles go inside 50. Out they come. Hard ball to pick up. Kennedy couldn't do so. White for Carlton does. Great play. Now Carlton through Walker. Kick it out towards Scotland. Schofield's been great today. Beautiful handball over the top. Lysette, who's double grabbed a few times today. Got enough of it though. Gets the handball to Cripps. To Natanui. Back it comes to Sheed. Sheed inside 50. Touch play on, it says. Cox marked it. Doesn't know it was touched. Now he's thrown it away. Umpire says play on. And away go Carlton.
The Carlton fans are rising here. They're making some noise.
Good run.
The late inclusion, Menzel, one of their 2 late inclusions. Henderson's hardly seen it today. McKenzie right with him. Ball knocked down. Bryce Gibbs tucked into the boundary. Taken out by Shepherd. Ball in. Look at the Blues fans.
Well done, Simon White as well, Dwayne. He went to the initial contest, peeled off when it went somewhere else, and was the 3rd man in for that crumb.
Boy, would this be a season kickstarter if they win from here. Slap down. Bryce Gibbs. Natanui dragged him. He didn't have it. Had to be a free.
Followed up his own work again. Even though it didn't work, that's the danger that Carlton have to watch.
Carlton are just going to take this game on. I think West Coast need to get a loose behind the play here to try and steady things up.
Heads inside 50. Jeffrey Carlton, the sidestep. A shimmy. He opens it up. Henderson. Oh, it hasn't been his game, but this is his moment.
I was out there before the game. This is exactly where he was taking his practice set shots from. Admittedly, that's 2 hours ago, Dwayno, but in that word again, he was hitting them pure from this position on the ground.
Well, I hope you haven't jinxed him, dude.
Magnificent kick from Jeff Garlett.
Everybody takes a breath. This is massive. Lines it up. Oh, the resurrection's on.
Pure.
He pumps up the volume.
How could you have predicted this 5 minutes ago? West Coast looked full of run. I think I said there could be a blowout. And now they're just, if you had to pick someone now, you'd pick Carlton. They just look full of running. They're taking the game on. The ball's bouncing their way, and they look really dangerous all of a sudden from out of nowhere.
What a trap by Jeff Garlett.
It's 13 inside 50s to 5 in favour of the Eagles.
So suddenly, with 5 minutes and 39 seconds left on the clock, Carlton get within a goal. 31,005 people in at Etihad Stadium. Carlton have kicked 3 goals in 3.5 minutes. Make that 4.5 minutes to get their game really going. And they're in first, and they get the free kick in the centre break again. Natanui gives another free kick up. Simpson, long, McLean, patched up after coming off the blood rule. Kicks the long bomb. Casbolt's the man. Up he goes. Brings it to the ground. Scotland waits. Scotland pounces. Casbolt goes again. White barges through. He's grabbed and held up by McKenzie. Will have a ball up.
Oh, Jeffy Garlett's on the bench at the moment, and he has been the live wire up there. These situations need a match winner, and even though it's 5 minutes to go, I'd love Jeffy out there right now.
From the ball up, at least he's going to be fresh. Lucas weaves some magic.
There it is.
Hands it up. Kick from Buckley. Back from the dead. Scores a level.
You can't call this, Rory. You cannot call this. Look, Buckley's out there by himself.
Good kick.
His man gets sucked in, drawn, moth to the flame towards that clearance.
Have a look at the celebration after he kicks it too.
Good vision, good handball out the back. Retreat with the handball, go forward with the kick.
And look at this. The son of a gun. Jimmy Buckley's boy, Dylan Buckley, makes the scores level with a tick under 5 minutes left on the clock. Here we go, boys. We're going to ripper on our hands. West Coast Eagles have had 25 shots at goal to 20, and they trail and scores a level, and out they go again. Simpson now runs in and kicks and kicks and kicks and is touched on the line. Hits the post.
What about the tap from Warnock too? A tiring Warnock.
Look at this. Right on the last spot. Hit the post.
On the full, Blues ball here.
Pressure.
Everett. There's the bomb. Hoping for White. Oh, big grab, straight hands, Dean Cox.
How many times has he done that over his career?
There's been a few. 279 games now for Dean Cox, and that was huge. Thomas on the wing. Darling attacks it, got a hand to it, ball to the back. White, Thomas, sidesteps, tight ropes the line beautifully. They can take the lead here and now. He needs a chest. Henderson's the man he aimed for, missed him. Schofield, West Coast under immense pressure. Marston, the ball was touched. They could take the lead here and now. Sheed backtracks.
They're all one on one.
Not a lot to go to.
Now was on in the middle.
Called to go, but now it'll be cut off. Robinson got their hand on it. This game's lifted another gear. Back to Robinson. Floats one. A bouncer inside 50. Cox will get there. Can't. Tackled lady. Threw that away, Menzel. Should have been a free. Yo. Rosa.
Oh, they're off here.
Selwood. Prentice. And it opens up for the West Coast. Prentice needs a target. Looks for Kennedy. Missed him. Rowe, big spoil. Back to Prentice. Game on the line. Natanui. Hutchings. Sidestep. They need a score. Goes long. Goal square. Darling. Bouncing ball. Missed the line.
Scores level again. 3 minutes and 8 seconds left on the clock. Well, this is a fight to the finish now. Kingy, any fresh legs on the bench? Anything down there?
None.
nothing, Ed. We're out of gas down here, but they've got a player out in the wing. They've got to go here. They've got to excite. They've got to try and win the game.
Murphy goes inside. He does. He gets it to Tui.
Got to use Jamison if he's there.
Yep.
No, a bit late now. It's going to be late. Labour type footy.
You would have thought an Irishman would have used Jamison.
It's been the downfall of many of them.
Here they go. The skipper, Mark Murphy, has 2 bounces.
Menzel.
He kicks it inside 50. Off hands. Here we go. Menzel! Goal!
What a
Carlton
goal.
in front. Wow! The Carlton fans jump up as one with 2.5 on the clock. Carlton lead by a goal.
Let's look at this again. The run from behind. Oh, this is superb run. This, when you mention the words gut running, that is it. He's almost fatigued himself to the point where he can't get the ball to spin correctly. And that gets over the congestion, over the traffic. It gets to Menzel and goals. Now, how has he gone, Mick? Well, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 7 defenders, 5 forwards. Oh, this is tightrope stuff.
2.5 minutes left. An important clearance. McLean to half forward. Big fist down to Shepherd. Wants a handball option. Gives to Brown. Hands to Wellingham. West Coast still believe here, and why wouldn't they? Rosa back to Wellingham. Caught by Carlton. Was that a handball? Natandui parts the seas. Weaves a handball wide. Gaff. Rosa. Over the top to Shee. 6 points to margin. They can level the scores. Shuey. Was that 15? No, it wasn't. Selwood ties it up again. They're one kick from the lead. 1:51 left.
It's all or nothing. The Eagles defenders have to come down now and lock up every Carlton player so there is no free targets. Casbolt makes it down the line. Has he got him?
No, he comes out. Gets this ball. Picked up by Wellingham. His kick is smothered. Carlton have kicked 5 goals in 10 minutes. Picked up by Gibbs. Throws it away. Picked up by Scotland. Tumbles it forward. Almost the mark. Here goes Mitch Brown. He picks it up. High up and it's going to hit the roof. It goes high. Underneath it goes Denanui. Off hands. Wellingham was there. Daisy Thomas picks it up. Chips it over the top. It's a ripper.
What a great kick.
Now West Coast have got a man up.
Wait, they've got away. Carlton Robinson's on his own. 5 points the difference. Robinson short. It's over the top. Here's the rebound. Bennell slams it forward again. They've got numbers here. Shuey at the back. Here he goes. Shuey can go all the way. It's going to be a bounce. A bounce. It turns left. It turns right. It's off the ground. He hits the post. They've hit the post twice in 30 seconds.
56 left on the clock. They need about 4 or 5 mark and secure possessions here, the Blues.
There's one.
Don't play fast. Do not play fast.
White half-back flank. They don't know how long left. You do at home. 40 seconds and we're counting.
2.
Well, they just got to turn this
back.
over the Eagles. This is the one.
Go back.
Squash them in. You got to push up. You got to squash them in. You got to cause a turnover, and then you got to hit the scoreboard.
Last kick, really, isn't it?
Everett. Hutchings. Did he keep that alive?
Now the danger is Natanu and his ability to clear the ball from these types of throw-ins.
Cox is there.
Cox, he's just as good. He's an all-time great at it.
Comes down to this. The high on Selwood not paid. Play on. Slips
Here's
it
a
out.
go. They need a
Cox
mark.
hands it up. They need a mark or a goal. And that should be the end
That's it.
for the West Coast. Barring a crazy kick-in turnover, this game is going to be won by the Blues against all odds.
They've kicked 1 goal late in the last
Well,
quarter.
we go. No time. There's 2 seconds in the air from the throw-in. Carlton are home.
Well, unless a free kick happens on it.
1 goal 8 in the last quarter, the Eagles.
Watch this. 1, 2, siren, and Carlton win by 3 points.
What a win. What a moment in the season for the Blues.
31,005 people here today. And at the 9-minute mark of the final term, when Sheed kicked the goal from 45, that kicked 7 of the last 8 and led by 22 points. From there, Carlton kicked the next 5 goals of the game. And believe it or not, the West Coast Eagles kicked and hit the post twice in the last 2 minutes.
Well, they had some chances at the start of the quarter. They blew them, and then Carlton just went all-out attack. Everything went right. 5 goals in 10 minutes, as you said, Eddie, but the Eagles had a crack and just couldn't hit the goals. They just keep hitting the post.
We'll have to go back in time and just see who was it who got that fingertip on the ball that went down that was marked by Cox 15 metres out directly in front, because that was the game saver.